Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and we are here today to talk about Arrow. All Arrow have a wonderful panel here. We're going to get everyone to introduce each other. And I'll say everyone's name. And there are two Chris's here, so it's going to get a little confusing, but I have an idea. All right, so first we're going to start with Joe. Introduce yourself, your whole channel.
Hi, I'm Joe from Agree to Disagree, where we talk about movies, video games, TV, just a little bit of everything, including Arrow. So, glad to be here.
All right, so next we're up to Chris Mount Vernon Kid. Now, throughout the show, I'm going to be calling him Mount Vernon Kid because, again, it's going to get confusing. So introduce yourself, Mount Vernon Kid.
Well, Cat basically announced myself already, but I'm the... How's everybody doing up there? The Omni Geek High Lord of New York is here. How's everybody doing?
All right, so we're up to Jeremy. Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Jeremy. I go by Jay on YouTube, Mr. J's Comic Reviews. I review comics, TV, mostly anything nerdy and superhero related, and Arrow falls under that category.
Now we have Arrow himself right here. So we have Chris, Cirque Show. Introduce yourself.
I am the Cirque Show, and if you don't watch this live broadcast, you have failed this city.
You know,
and that's how you start a broadcast.
That is how you start it. You got the goatee and everything going on. That's great. You really got into it.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the season finale. We're going to be talking about Flash, everything. So because we're talking about Arrow, we want your questions in the comments below. So we're going to have a whole question and answer period. But we are going to talk amongst ourselves first about our own questions about Arrow. But of course, talking about the season finale. So since I started out with Joe first, and I'll go last, but Cirque, what did you think about the season finale?
I thought it was good. I think it had some awkward moments here and there. But, you know, overall, I really enjoyed it. I really like the action. I love the bond that they really played with just the whole history of, you know, Oliver and Slade, and just how you had that good, like, brotherly friendship, and it's just tearing apart, and the way they shot, like, the flashback fight scenes and the present-day fight scenes. I mean, it was kind of poetic. So I really enjoyed it in that aspect, just the whole, like, brothership just being broken apart. And like I say, it had a few like weird moments here and there, but overall it's still really, really good. And I enjoy this second season very much.
So if you had to rate it out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
The episode or the season?
Well, we'll probably go to the season, but the episode for now.
The episode out of 5 stars, I'd give it 4.5.
Okay. So now we're up to Jeremy. What did you think about the season finale?
All right. So what did I think of the season finale? I thought I agree with what Cirque said for sure. It had a couple awkward moments, like a couple things like, are you just gonna let that go? Just gonna kind of gloss over that? Okay. Well, maybe they'll address it later. But overall, it was great. The choreography with the fighting and the martial arts has been on point this entire season, but it was really ramped up. I could tell, and I really liked the splicing of the flashback with the final fight with Deathstroke. That was awesome, and I loved just all the reinforcements coming in, and just the whole thing that they focused on with Oliver having a team and him needing help, and everybody showed up. That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I want to agree with the poetic thing. I think the episode was very poetic with, you know, even Sarah, the way she died in the past, where it was the same death as the pilot. I thought that was kind of poetic in a way, too. But I really like the fight scenes. I feel that the Slade past fight was kind of more important with him losing his eye than the present fight at times. Just I think there's a little bit more actiony in there. But yeah, so Chris, Mount Vernon Kid, what did you think about the finale? Oh, also Jeremy, what was your grade for the finale before Chris?
I'll give it a 4.5. In my review that you'll see after this that I upload on my channel, I gave it a 5, but that was more of I was caught up in the moment. I reviewed directly after watching the episode. So, but my solid rating is a 4.5. Really enjoyed it.
Cool. So, Mount Vernon Kid.
I literally put her on my Twitter. The season finale was sweet. I think the major importance for me was especially the ending of what Ali said to Slade that really captivated what this whole season and that episode was, the comps of what Ali has become, and I enjoyed that the most. Is like him saying, yeah, I started as a killer, but now look at me. I like that dynamic the most of it. Everything else combining with that was just cake. It was just icing on the cake. It was great. Seeing, like, almost when you look at it, it's almost like the future is bright for this show, and you're seeing the new dynamics and where this character is going, and it's like you're looking at it from that perspective, like, okay, you're so interested now in it. So it was great. It was sweet. Overall, I definitely, out of 5, it's a 4, definitely, very much.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see what Joe says, but Joe, what did you think about the season finale?
All right. Wow, I'm going the complete opposite way of everyone here, and I'm going to get the title That Guy, but I didn't like it. It's not that I thought it was necessarily bad. I was just expecting more. And that's because it's been built up this entire half of the season and kind of felt like Walking Dead Season 3, where they said, we're going to war, and then they went to war for 5 minutes. It just kind of didn't live up to my expectations. Like I said, wasn't necessarily bad. We had a fun, couple fun moments with Diggle and Oliver, and just a few fun moments spread throughout the episode, but overall just not that great for me. I'm going to say maybe a 3.5 out of 5.
I think I could understand that too at the same point, because I felt a little underwhelmed. That's why I still really love the episode because I know where the character is going, and they left a lot of hints. I think as comic book fans more than me, the TV fans, they left a lot of hints here to like where it's going to go.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. I think that like this season finale especially was more geared towards the comic fans with all the foreshadowing and the references.
Yeah, I mean, I think with every character they had some sort of foreshadowing. With this whole question going to the panel, I will ask a question for every character, because I think every character was really utilized throughout this whole finale. So I'm going to actually go kind of least to the most characters, like the most important ones. But the least one, I want to go with Quentin. What did you think about the ending scene? Do you think he's going to die? And since we started out with Cirque, I'm going to go to Joe.
With Quentin?
Yeah, so what do you think of his death?
I read something earlier that said one character will be gone this start of season 3.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So I think that's Quinn. I think we're done with Quinn, which is a shame because I liked Quinn's character, even though it was pretty much Commissioner Gordon through and through. It felt like Gordon the entire time, and Oliver at times seems like Batman. The whole thing has a lot of Batman parallels to it. So, I mean, getting rid of Quentin will kind of take away one of those major parallels for me. But, I don't know, it's a shame. I like Quentin, but I don't think, I think his days are numbered.
And now there's, he just got his detective badge back. It's kind of upsetting. But, yeah. How about you, Mount Vernon Kid? What did you think of Quentin's death?
That kind of threw me off a little bit but then when they showed the flashback of it, I'm like, yeah, that could have happened. The way the force of how he fell, I was just like, okay, something's probably not going to go well with him, and we kind of saw that lead up. If he dies, I'll be upset because, on the contrary, I actually liked that he was kind of coming off as Jim Gordon. I actually like that. That Ollie had a ally in the law enforcement department, so I actually like that. I try to put the comparisons apart from each other, but yeah, I can see the comparisons, but I enjoyed it more or less. But if he dies, yeah, it'll be like, oh man, like, what's the dynamics of Laurel? What happens to her? You know, what's her mindset gonna be? You know, the whole 9 yards from there. So yeah, I will be upset if it happens. So,
yeah, I was thinking about the downward spiral of Laurel too. I've even said that in my review, is that I feel like Laurel, this is like more downward spiral for her, and getting that coat, which we'll talk more about Laurel's coat later. This could just add to that effect. How about you, Jeremy? What did you think about Quentin's death?
Well, I mean, I love Quentin. Quentin has been one of my favorite characters of the series. Yeah, like Joe said, he is kind of essentially Commissioner Gordon, but I loved how broken he was and that he was building himself back up, and he was starting to get, his life back together. He got closure with his wife and all that other good stuff, and then he got his daughters back, so to speak. But with this, as pertains to Laurel, I think this is what Laurel needs. This will be Laurel's Tommy in a sense. How Tommy was the inspiration for Oliver to really become a hero. Quentin being the cop, the good cop that he was, the trusting cop that he was. This will be the inspiration for Laurel to really, get a set of matching leggings for that jacket that she just got at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll definitely talk more about the leather jacket once we get to Laurel. But yeah, I totally agree with that. How about you, Chris Sarksha?
See, I don't know, for me, the whole, oh, he might be dying himself, I didn't feel like it was that important for me. I don't know why. I think because I feel like they're trying to cheat us into the fact that, oh, well, Laurel's supposed to take over like the Black Canary thing, so we need a plot device to get her there. And the only plot device that we can get her there is to have her like dad, like so-called die, and she go on like some kind of rampaging revenge type plot detail. So when it happened, I was like, I see what they're about to do right now. Because Sarah just gave her the jacket right after that. The dad looks like he's about to die, so now this is her road to becoming. I don't like that. The reason I think I don't like it is because for me, Laurel is not a good enough character for that. So I felt like for her dad.
Yeah, I think we could all second that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she needs to be built up, for sure. I definitely agree she's the weakest character out of them all.
Yeah, so when that happened, I was like, well, they're going to kill off the dad, which is, for me, he's a good enough character to where I don't want him to die just for Laurel's benefit. You know what I mean? I think, and I've said this long ago, like, I would have been perfectly fine if Laurel never became Black Canary, if she was just Laurel throughout this entire series.
I kind of agree with you, too.
Yeah, that was one of my things. I would have been okay with Sarah just staying Black Canary.
And a lot of people I'm going to mention this, a lot of people think that she's going to become Manhunter because she's a DA and Kate Spencer died in the show already.
Yeah, it was just, for me, it was weird. It was like I said, I gave the episode a 4.5. I thought it was really good, but that was one of those weird things, one of those weird moments that I really did not take well. I don't think you should sacrifice a good enough character like that for a character who's not that well developed. If Laurel was a developed character, how Oliver was in season 1 when Tommy died, then I can get with it. You know what I mean? Because Oliver was obviously he's the main character, but I feel like Laurel needs that before they can actually kill off her dad. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, because with Quentin, I kind of agree. That was a little bit more of the awkward part. That I felt like, oh no, we need a cliffhanger. Let's kill off Quentin. Even if we don't really know if he's dead, because maybe they didn't say they're killing someone off. They said someone won't be in the beginning of season 3. That could be Sarah just leaving with the League and being more towards the middle of season 3, which happened in season 2 anyway. She left for a while in season 2, so it doesn't mean Quentin's gonna die. And I agree. I think Laurel's and which we'll get into as we get more into the season. I think Laurel's definitely the weakest link of the season, even though she's gotten stronger. Quentin is a really cool, noble guy. Even though he's not a main character, he's a great supporting character. So to make him die in that way also, there wasn't a sacrifice. He just kind of got hurt, and that's it. So it's a little disappointing with that. And I agree with you, Chris, that a little lackluster at that point. But yeah, let's talk about, because again, I want to go to like least important to most important characters from the season finale. So Dig, what did you think about, I would say, adding the Suicide Squad again, and also the whole I have a baby thing? So we're going to start with the Cirque show, Chris.
So we're going to Dig. Let's see. I don't know. I wish they would have gave Dig a little bit more to do. I feel like him tipping him off with his like wife or whatever. It was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it. But I felt like Dig, he's like the main guy. He's like Oliver's like right hand man. He should be there with Oliver. You know what I mean? I felt like he should have just been there with Oliver all throughout that whole thing. You know what I mean? That's for me. That's what I felt like. If anything, I felt like they should have put Roy with Dig's wife to do that whole Suicide Squad crap and kept Dig with Oliver because they have a bigger bond and they've been together more. So,
or even if they needed, I don't think they needed the Suicide Squad in this episode at all. And honestly, I just don't like how they've been doing the Suicide Squad. Again, we'll talk more about that as we go more into the season. I hated what they did with the Suicide Squad. I just think it's really boring. And all the Dig-centric episodes, pretty boring, honestly. And I feel bad. I mean, he's a cool character, but you just can't hold an episode.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it was another one of those, like, little plot devices. Like, they stick him with his wife so you can find out that he's got a kid on the way. Why? I don't know why. I don't see the reason for that in this episode. If they would have done it like episodes 3 or the episode where they showcase Dig in Afghanistan meeting his wife or something like that in flashback, they should have did like this whole baby thing during that episode. You know what I mean? And gave Dig something else more important. So stuff like that, it kind of irks me a little bit, but whatever.
I have to agree with everything you said with that. I thought maybe it was kind of random in this episode. All right, what did you think, Jeremy? Did you like the whole Dig thing?
All right, with Dig, Mr. David Ramsey does a great job portraying Dig, for one, but I will agree pretty much with everything that Sirk said, because the Suicide Squad, while I do like them as characters in the comic books, the villains in Arrow in general are very lackluster, other than the big bads like John Barrowman and Manu Bennett as Mark Arthur.
I agree. They're always been lackluster.
But, you know, with that, I don't, like you said, the League of Assassins was enough, I believe. I think that they were a good a force to deal with the Deathstroke problem. The Suicide Squad thing was just a kind of shoehorn that they're still there and they're out there. The baby thing, I think it could be cool, but it wasn't needed to be mentioned here. They could have mentioned it in the beginning of season 3 or whatever. I mean, maybe they're gonna foreshadow, like, do like maybe an episode set off into the far future, maybe as with Connor Hawke as the new Green Arrow and Dig's kid as, you know, part of the
That's
second
what I was
generation.
seeing. Like, they're trying to, like, maybe have a play date or something in season 5 once they all actually come into the show.
Yeah, so that's, maybe they're setting seeds for that, because they did mention, you know, that Connor Hawke will actually be shown more in season 3.
Oh.
So maybe we'll get to see that. But other than that, I don't really think it was needed. Dig is a great character, but like you said, Kat, his centric episodes weren't that great. So I really do think he just needed more to do. But other than that, it was okay.
Felicity had more action than Dig in this episode, which we'll get to, but she did. Sorry, Chris, what did you think Mount Vernon Kid? For Dig.
For Diggle, a lot of the stuff that pretty much everyone said is pretty much the same thing I agree with. I think the baby, that was forced, way forced in my opinion, too forced. I was just like, and I like the character Diggle. I compared him almost to Rhodey. That's how I looked at Diggle, as like Rhodey to Tony. And I was just like, yeah, he's Ollie's right-hand man. You know, this is the guy Ollie can confide to him about the way Tony would do with Rhodey. And there were times where I always felt like, okay, if they were going to give Diggle a centered episode, it should be really good. You get to see more of his character, what makes this guy tick, things like that. And most of the times they did it, yeah, they were a little bit lackluster. You know, it was just like, in the sense, okay, this could have been way better. But with the whole, you know, baby, I was like, that's kind of forced. Was that really necessary? You know, and I thought he could have done a lot more with Ollie than, you know, instead of, you know, with Roy and everything like that. You know, but you know, it's like, oh well, you gotta stick him with his wife, so keep them together. The whole Suicide Squad section was really not needed. Once again, like Jay and everybody's been saying, that was kind of forced as well. Just like to let everybody know, hey guys, they're here, so don't forget about the Suicide Squad. And to me personally, I don't even like how they've been doing the Squad period in the show.
This is the second time they've watched the Suicide Squad on TV.
I will totally agree with everybody who says that too. I don't like how they did Bronze Tiger. I don't like how they've done Deadshot, and don't even get me started on even segueing like, yeah, that certain Miss Quinn is with them. I'm like, yeah.
I like the Harley Quinn reference, but
I don't. Honestly, I don't like that. As much as I love Harley, I will say that wasn't needed in the sense because it's like, yeah, you're segueing in the 52 aspect, and I'm just like, it's not needed. It's not really needed. But that's just my opinion on the subject. But I don't really like how they've done the Suicide Squad in general. Period. Like I said, Bronze Tiger looks like Wolverine to me, and I'm like, no, that they could have really did. And I've been all for Michael Jai White as Bronze Tiger. I'm like, that is one of the perfect casting for him. And I would have thought they would have really did his character a little bit better. And they didn't have to have him with the tiger mask, but they could have had him with the war paint, like his classic look. I would have taken that. But the whole claws and everything like that, I was like, oh yeah.
Especially when he lunged out at Oliver with the claws out, that was straight up Wolverine.
I was like, oh man, that's too. But I did like the kind of aspect of what they did with Deadshot. Like showcase that he the reason why he does this, there's a heart in there. He's not all ice cold. He does have a heart. So I will give them that, but everything else kind of a little forced with me. That's just the way I look at it. But I do like the woman who plays Amanda Waller because
she's pretty good.
Amanda Waller, as always, she is a stone cold, you know what. So yeah, that's how she is. She plays that to a T, very much.
I agree with that. How about you, Joe? What did you think about Dig, or even adding to the Suicide Squad since we were talking about it?
As for the Suicide Squad, I'm probably the only one here who has never even touched a comic book. So I do not know the Suicide Squad. They're not something I'm familiar with. So the only way I know them is through the TV show, which, as all of you have said, which has been done terribly. So yes, what's his name? Bronze Tiger?
Yeah.
I called him Black Wolverine forever. I didn't know any of these guys' stories besides Floyd. Deadshot. Besides Deadshot, I didn't know any of these guys' stories or anything. Putting them together, I didn't care. Like you guys said, I thought it was done terribly. So just to bring them back, it just felt like literally, let's throw every character we have into this episode just for the hell of it. I'm surprised we didn't even see Huntress in there because at the rate they were going, hell, throw Huntress in there, bring Tommy back, just start.
You know what's kind of funny? Stephen Amell even mentioned it on Facebook. Everyone's here. And I was like, what does that mean?
Although we'll talk about Huntress because Huntress is bad too. She's just
oh god.
Yes, it was.
We were getting literally everyone that this show has given to us. So
that hasn't died.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But as for Dig, I don't see his point. I don't see why he's still a thing. At first, he was kind of, like you said, Oliver's right-hand man, but we have Roy now. We have the sidekick. We have this whole team, and I don't really see Diggle's point. I don't see his job. I don't know. I think he needs kind of a course correction, or I think his character needs to be written off because at this point he's just not really adding much. Like you said, we had a Diggle-centric episode a few episodes ago. I don't see what that did for us. Every time he opens his mouth, it's just some kind of war story about when he was in the war, and I'm pretty sure 95% of people don't care about his made-up war stories that he spews. So I don't know. I'm not that good with Diggle. I like the actor. Don't get me wrong. I love the actor, and he's the only reason I don't really hate the character. But I'm done with the character. As of right.
I can agree with the whole Diggle thing. I feel like they haven't utilized him at all, and I feel all he does is shake his head. I mean, I remember Felicity. It was like I think the last episode, Felicity made a comment. He's like, and everyone made a meme or a gif of it, like on Tumblr, because he doesn't do anything. He just sits there, agrees with everybody, and sometimes he goes on the side of Oliver, not doing the right thing.
He's been shot more than 50 Cent, and he's still not.
Yeah.
Oliver, you alright?
I
Good?
thought he was going to die actually in this season. That's how
They're
much
saving that
he
for
was
season
just,
3. They need someone to die there.
definitely. I thought Ravager was going to kill him. I was like, yeah, this looks like that's where it's going. And
I don't know who that is.
You know, for me, I think because I agree with everybody saying that they are not using him well. I mean, he's still a great character. Don't get me wrong. I still like the stuff that he has between Oliver and Felicity. But I think if you want to bring his character up to the next level, you got to put him in a costume or something. You know what I mean? You have to.
I mean, yeah. He could be Guardian.
Black Driver.
Seriously. He could be Guardian.
Oh my God, Jake read my mind. I was about to say, oh, is he going to be Guardian?
Yeah, he needs to do something. You need to put him in some kind of costume to give him that extra oomph. So you don't need to put Felicity in there because she's so charming. She's just got more to do because you need the tech girl. So she's good. But for Diggle, because I still think the best thing about Arrow is just like the 3 main people, which is Diggle, Felicity, and Oliver, and just their relationship. But you start to see the cracks because you have like a great chemistry with Felicity. You have great stuff with Oliver, and then you have good stuff here and there with Diggle, and it doesn't need to be like that. It needs to be consistent with all 3, and yeah, just give them something. Put them in a costume, put a cape on them or something. I don't know.
Course correction. That's what he needs. He needs some kind of motive.
Yeah.
Guardian.
I totally agree with you guys. Actually, talking about Ravager before, I think this is a really good point. Did you think her death was cheap? I actually forgot to talk about this in my review. But I thought her death was really
such a
cheap.
cop-out.
Honestly, it was.
This is a cop-out.
Who's Ravager?
When that
The
happened,
one, Summer Glau, the one with like
The Lady Deathstroke. Lady Deathstroke.
Oh,
with
Isabel?
the ponytail and everything.
I loved Isabel.
me too, and they killed her off like she was like a piece of meat,
It
like
was
a robot.
cheap. It was a cop-out. That's
it was
all
a
it
cop
was.
out. I've always respected Summer Glau for
Yeah,
everything.
she's
she
a
does.
wonderful actress.
Whatever she does, I'm always like, she's always going to bring her A game. And when that happened, and Anissa kills, I'm like, oh, really? Like,
That was. I mean.
I was like, really? That just like that? Like, there could have been so much more to be done with this character. Like, and you just end it like that. It's just like, really? I really.
For God's sakes, and they're just like, oh well, yeah, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought that they were gonna have like a Slade and Tara relationship between Isabel and Slade, and with her as Ravager, because originally it's Rose, but if they don't want to show Rose just yet, they can
And for
have
Joe, Rose is Deathstroke's daughter. Yeah, so that's what the character is based on.
Gotcha.
And if they don't want to show Rose just yet, they could have Isabel up there just with that same kind of relationship. Maybe since he doesn't Slade doesn't have Shadow anymore, she could be his new Shadow. That's the direction I thought they were gonna go, but they just kill her off for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like so upset at that. Any other thoughts on Ravager, or else I'll move on to the next character. Okay. Next I want to talk about is Roy, because I feel like he didn't have much to do. What did you think of like him being cured and like being able to shoot arrows right away when he kind of sucked at it like 3 episodes ago?
I want to talk about that too, because if he like did the Mirakuru just magically give him archery powers? Because like he couldn't shoot the broadside of a barn last time I checked, and all of a sudden
it's a side effect.
Yeah, the side effect is that you're a great archer.
I guess that's just a plot device. They just said, well, okay, let's just give him. He's a good archer now.
I mean,
that's why.
All he said to him was, remember what you've learned. Remember your training. What training? He put his hand in a bowl of water and shot a couple arrows and sparred with Sarah a little bit. Got his butt kicked. Couldn't shoot the arrows. And went on a roid rage attack, just punching people. How is that training? Just saying.
I'm like totally lost on Roy. I don't know.
The thing is also is like, I look at it, especially if he's supposed to come back for the next season. There's gonna be some major consequences because nobody's telling him, "Yo, dude, you killed the cop. Dude, you killed the cop. And it's like nobody's telling him that. So he's gonna probably find out the hard way that you're gonna do some jail time for that, because there's no way nobody did not see him punch a hole through a cop's chest, and everybody.
It's Arrow, like everyone kills everybody, and no one goes to jail. So Slade didn't even go to jail. So
yeah, so dude's going to jail. I figured that, but I will say it was kind of cool. I will say that he had the mask on. I was like,
the domino mask made me freak out.
He got the mask.
Now, for people that are not comic book fans, Roy Harper is destined to be he's Speedy. He's the most known Oliver's sidekick. He's
basically
like
Robin for Green Arrow. Yeah, he's the Dick Grayson Robin for Green Arrow.
He's the original Speedy before Mia and everybody else came. So, yeah.
He's the original sidekick. He's the original Arrow team. He's awesome. And I think
kind of a general question though. What were you guys' thoughts on how they handled the drug storyline, but replacing heroin with Mirakuru?
I'd rather seen the heroin story, in my opinion. I think Young Justice did it better, but that's a whole different story.
Go Roy, that's my dude.
There you go. Roy. Whatever everyone else thinks. Yeah. Well, to Joe, Roy had a really big drug problem in the comic books. It's a big known thing for him. So they kind of replaced it with the Mirakuru thing. So yeah, I mean, I think do you think that for Joe? Do you think the CW could do a drug story, or do you think it would have been too much after school special?
Yeah, I think it'd be too much after school special. I think it fit here because it gave Roy kind of an obstacle that he had to overcome. And I feel in order for him to become the sidekick or whatever, and this is kind of what Diggle's missing, he needs some kind of traumatic experience that puts him in that position. So I think that's why I'm okay with it. And I think using the Mirakuru, that story to do it, I thought it was a nice touch.
And how about everyone else? What do you guys think? Do you think Mirakuru or heroin?
I'm gonna go with heroin. I'll just say that right up. I'll straight up.
If someone just came into this podcast, Mirakuru or heroin?
I'm gonna go with heroin. Just because, I feel like it messed with his mind more, and I think the Mirakuru has that side effect with the dark voice in his head, but it's a permanent effect on him. He has that permanent label of drug addict. Everybody's seeing him as the drug addict, and in public as this person who was just really down. Only Oliver and the few people who know about Mirakuru. So it's not, he won't have that permanent stigma, and except for in that small circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like heroin is more of an impact.
Any other thoughts on Roy? The finale with Roy? Any questions with Roy?
It's basically, like I said, just where does he go from here now? Will he fully take up the mask now that his life has kind of been turned upside down and things like that? Will he do, everything like that? Because, the death, he killed somebody,
he has nobody to go back to, so that'll
there you go. Nobody to go back to, and I definitely want to talk about Miss Thea.
Oh, we will talk about the. I'm trying to save her a little bit more for last because I know a lot of us on the panel had stuff to say about it. But Sirk, you were trying to say something about Roy.
I forgot, but let's see. I don't know. I thought it was okay with Roy. I think I accepted the whole being great at archery and stuff like that, only because it's just been taking so damn long for us to get to that moment. To where I was like, I don't even care anymore. I'm just glad that he's shooting somebody with an arrow.
It's we'll forget about that plot hole.
Yeah, so
I'll admit, when I was watching it, I didn't care.
Oh yeah, I just thought about that on the fly when I was just asking the question. I'm like, well, he did learn a little bit too quickly. But he's Roy Harper. He's gonna be Speedy he's gonna be Arsenal. So we'll see how the dark path.
Does a great job with the personality, though. I have to commend him for that. he has Roy's personality.
Oh, Colton is great, I think. I think he's a great Roy. Also, to ask for comic book fans and Joe, just to let you know that, what do you think about Roy maybe losing his arm in the future? In the comic books, he loses his arm and he becomes like a villain.
I actually want the Arsenal storyline to happen because they said he's not going to become Red Arrow. He's going to become Arsenal, and Arsenal loses an arm. Now, how? I don't really see what they're going to do, but I do want to see that happen, and I do want to see, as Cirque said, Roy come into play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for season 3. When they introduce I guess Ra's al Ghul or something like that. Maybe he cuts it off, and then that's how he becomes Arsenal. I'm down for something like that. But for me, it's got to go. I need to see this right.
Yeah, with Roy, there's a rumor going around with a certain little assassin might show up in season 3.
Cheshire. Oh, also Roy has a baby with this villain, and the baby's awesome. It's Leanne. He becomes more of a person because of it. So Roy has a lot of a past. So you'll see Roy's story. I feel like in Arrow you don't really see that. You feel like Roy is just this side character, but he has so much to do with everything.
But as a kind of an inside joke to comic fans, let's just pray Cry for Justice doesn't happen on Arrow.
I don't think he's gonna lose his arm because that kind of requires a lot on their end when it comes to effects and everything like that.
Well, you can get a metal arm. That's what he has pretty much. So they
he gets replaced with a cybernetic arm.
And that's where I think Argus will come in if he loses his arm. I think they'll be the one to give it to him.
Yeah.
Okay. I can maybe see it. I don't know. I don't see it coming anytime soon, at least. And then Chris, you had mentioned Ra's al Ghul. I just want to throw out Ra's al Ghul. I hope we do see him. And the perfect casting choice, in my opinion, would be Giancarlo Esposito, who was Gus Fring in Breaking Bad. He voices Ra's al Ghul.
I could so see that.
Right? He would be perfect.
Let's see it happen.
So I don't know. That's just I just want to throw that out there. I'm praying that we see that. I want to see that so bad.
That's a really good casting. Actually, since we're going on to the league, let's talk about the league. I gotta say, one of the most biggest disappointments for me was the lack of the league. I feel like the league wasn't really needed here.
They weren't that big of a presence. They weren't as big of a presence as I had expected.
Where was Raz? Come on, give me Raz.
Although I will have to say, I just wanted Katrina Law to have a few more lines, just because I love her accent.
Yeah, Nissa is pretty cool. I do like Nissa.
You know she's just playing that accent, right, Jake?
I know she's just playing the accent, but that doesn't stop me from loving it.
I didn't say that. I think the league was also something that just that even just caught me when watching the trailer to the season finale. Actually, I'm like, oh, they're back. Really? Are they really needed? It was just kind of.
That was a quick trip to Nanda Parbat because Sarah disappeared and then she comes back with the league.
Yeah, then she goes back with the league.
Yeah, I thought it made sense though. I thought Sarah left. She was like, "Yo, I need to go back. Ness, I need to go back. But before I go back, I need you to help my friends defeat this guy. Bring a couple of your goons, and let's do this, and then I'll go back like I promised." So in that sense, I was okay with it. I thought it was good to see the league. I felt like, Oliver needed it. Team Oliver or Team Arrow, they needed it because let's be honest, they were getting their asses handed to them throughout this entire season. So
they did need some extra muscle, and I don't think the police force could help them.
So it only makes sense that for the league to come. I don't really care if it wasn't the whole league. You only need 20 guys because they're trained assassins. These other Miracle guys, they're not trained assassins. They're just these guys on steroids. They can't fight really. So you hit them with arrows, they go down.
They were just used.
That is true.
It made sense to me.
So any other thoughts on the league? Where my prediction, I even told Joe this, I was like, I thought Slade was going to die and then go into Lazarus Pit. I thought that would have been a humongous, great cliffhanger to get into the league for the season 3, which I think we'll get a lot of league. I don't know how they're going to get on Oliver's bad side. but I think it's also going to be Sarah trying to choose, do I choose the League or do I choose Oliver?
I thought
So
Nissa
we'll see
was
more
going to die,
Sarah in season
actually.
3.
I thought Nissa was going to die, and then Sarah was going to kind of go on like this darker path, because it was definitely shown in the fight that she still has feelings for Nissa.
Yeah.
And I thought she was going to die, and that would kind of bring, the wrath of her father down on Starling City.
Gus Fring.
Exactly.
There you go. Any other thoughts on the League or?
Hashtag Gus for Roz.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, if he's willing to do it, I'd be happy to see that.
I love like ninjas and assassins, so for me it was cool. I love the fact that they brought Nessa back. I just like looking at her. I mean,
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Cereal all day, like just my gosh.
Okay, but did anybody else?
The entire female cast though.
Did anybody else kind of get, like, from the League of Assassins, like ninja uniform? Did anybody else get a Foot Clan vibe?
Well, I don't watch Ninja Turtles.
Don't tell me I was the only one that didn't get a Foot Clan vibe.
I wouldn't say that. I could. They don't look too much like the Foot, but I can.
I mean, not exactly, but I definitely got a Foot Clan-esque kind of vibe to them from their uniform.
So going to Sarah, I feel like we talked about Sarah, but we'll talk about the Laurel-Sarah interaction with the whole coat giving. Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but do I want to see Laurel's Black Canary next season? Hell no.
Okay, this is kind of, I guess this was kind of the start of my semi-rant section.
Oh, Chris is going. He's giving up.
This is going to be
That's what Laurel does to everybody.
This is going to be a semi-rant for me, because Laurel is a character that I constantly was like, oh my god, please, kill her. Kill her.
So I keep hearing from you, Jay. Kill her.
That's all. Yeah, that's all I kept saying, and Chris knows. That's all.
I heard
all
it too.
wanted
Trust
to happen.
me.
All I wanted to happen, and then she started to get to the point where, okay, you don't bother me. You're actually okay. I don't want to punch you in the face every time I see you on screen. But like, she's nowhere near the point where she deserves the jacket. The jacket needs to be earned.
I totally agree. I think she got the jacket way too quickly. I mean, I think it's just a reference of, hey, you're going to become Black Canary, not just yet, but it's just like passing on the torch, but not, like, again, it's just more of a reference than it's going to actually happen. That's how I
think of it as well. It's like, it wasn't really a passing on the torch. It was just like almost like a sisterly vibe to me, just like, hey, you look good in this, so here you go. You
it's
take
passing on the match that will light the torch one day.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's a good way of looking at it. Because I mean,
There we go.
I think it's cool that she will eventually become Black Canary, but it's not just yet. Maybe if we have like a certain former prize fighter move in and open up a gym, then
I kid you not, if I hear Ted Grant name dropped. That's Wildcat. I love Wildcat. I'm like, oh yeah.
Wildcat trained Black Canary in the comic book. So
yeah, Wildcat is an old superhero. He's part of JSA, which is like an older superhero group, and he trained Black Canary to be like this awesome fighter. So Sarah Black Canary was never like a League of Assassins. That was only for the show.
And the rumor for the Flash show is that we might get old Jay Garrick. So that's one JSA member. So what's to stop, the CW from having another one,
I agree, and I think we have a couple of JSA, well, only one JSA. Yeah, I think Our Man was part of JSA, but that'll be like for the question and answers. But yeah, any other thoughts on that, or with Sarah and Laurel? Again, we'll talk more about like overall characters like in the season after we talk about the season finale. But season finale wise, any other thoughts on it?
What, the Laurel part?
Yeah.
I want to hear what Sarah has to say.
Yeah, just going back to what I said before, that whole Laurel and Sarah part, it was just a plot device to let the viewers know, because from what I've been told and from what I've heard in like interviews and stuff, the writers and the directors and everybody involved, they know that the fans are not really behind Laurel. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to kind of push it on you. And
They really are.
you know,
Yeah.
like from what I've been told and from like these interviews that I've been watching, they're not saying it, but they're kind of saying it. And like, well,
Yeah, I saw an interview today where it's like, we know people don't like Laurel.
yeah. So what they're doing,
Deal
like,
with it.
it's all this is. Like, they're trying to get Laurel into the position that they need her to be in. But the fact is, she's not in that position where we need her to be in. So they're doing it too fast to where there was no reason for Sarah to give her that jacket. If anything, Sarah should have gave her some lip balm and said, "I'll be back for that." I would have not gave her a jacket.
Or you know, maybe she just like, you know, you look better as a blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a comment like that would have been a little bit better, I think.
Yeah. Like I said before, it was just a plot device. The whole Sarah thing led to the dad thing, and that's what it was. It's just a plot device for Laurel, and it's not working. And that was just the thing that kind of irked me. She needs to step her game up. I mean, she's a beautiful lady.
She's an okay actress, because like when she cries, her facial expressions are not that great. She's an okay actress.
She messed up Tarzan, I'll say that. Like, do not go see that Tarzan movie.
She needs to step her game up. If I was her, like if I was that actress, and I knew that the fans and stuff wasn't behind me, if I was her, I would have went to the directors and the writers and say, "Yo, I don't think my character's ready yet. Don't put this plot device in it. I need to work a little bit harder. We need to come together. We need to write better for her, and it's for her to earn it." Like that's just my opinion. If I was her, I would have went to the director, the writer. I would have sat them all down and said, "Yo, we need to rewrite this. I don't think she deserves that yet. We need to find something else for her to do until we can all agree that she deserves it." So that's just my opinion, but whatever. I'm done with that. I'm done.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Cool. So let's move on to Thea Queen,
Yes.
not Merlin.
Yes.
Now, for us comic book fans, we know who she's going to become, so we know she's going to be Oliver's sidekick. Now, it's a little confusing. In the comics, she actually started out as a prostitute and became, again, it's actually really different from Thea Queen, but yeah, she ended up becoming a prostitute and becoming Oliver's sidekick. And she ended up getting HIV, and it's a really big story. Yeah, it's
the HIV thing was amazing. It was one of the most like groundbreaking things in comics. It was definitely for sure.
She's the first character to have that disease, the ailment, and even in the comics now, well, pre-52, she couldn't be on the field too long because of her illness, like.
Yeah.
Breathe too heavy.
Yeah. Unless she had the retrovirals. Unless she had the retrovirals, and Ollie would always pay for the extra medicine and all the care that she needed, because you know he wanted to keep her safe, because they had that strong connection.
Yeah, honestly, Joe, if you've never read a comic book, read that one issue where you see Mia finds out she has HIV. It's like one of the strongest issues.
Oh my
ever.
gosh.
It's one of my favorite issues.
Definitely recommend that one. It's a real tugs on your heartstrings kind of thing.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a big arc, and that's why like when people don't understand, like TV watchers, like Thea sucks.
Yeah, that's why I always talk about Thea. I always put a section out for Thea because Thea is supposed to represent one of my favorite characters in the Green Arrow family.
And it's referenced in the show. Like she has archery trophies in the pilot. Her name is Speedy. Her middle name is Dearden. Thea Dearden. Thea Dearden. So it's like it's totally referenced that it's her character and that she's gonna be based on that. But going back, that was Mia Dearden's past. That's why we love Mia Dearden. But why is Thea good in this episode? I thought she was a little melodramatic with like what she was saying, but I really loved the interaction she had with Malcolm.
I feel like it was
she's gonna train with
understandable though. I feel like her reaction was understandable, and with me, Thea's progression was throughout the season in general was great, because I did not. I wanted to like her in the first season because I knew who she was supposed to be.
Season 1, she was very weak.
But I didn't like her at all. But the start of season 2, she had her own job. She was doing her own thing. She had a good relationship with Roy, and I think her relationship with Roy is really what saved her character at first. And then we get the bomb drop about her dad. But honestly,
brought a great level to her character.
And honestly, though,
Absolutely.
if I was Thea, I would shoot him too. I'm not gonna lie, I would shoot him.
And I love the reference that he made. It's like you're just like me. Like I see it in your eyes that Tommy was never like me. He would never pull the trigger, but you would. So it shows that darker side. And I think we all know she's gonna become a villain season 3. She'll learn her archery. She might have already known archery from high school, but she will become a villain, and then that will be her crucible, her island, and then she'll learn about the Hood, learn about Oliver, and probably convert to go Speedy. But maybe that's like kind of her prostitution days. Like that's her dark days, is making stuff and going into becoming Oliver's side.
You know, something that could be interesting is that, you know, we know that Merlin has ties to the League. What if, you know, Thea actually goes to the League and does her thing with them?
I would love that, especially if the League's going to be a main part of the season.
Yeah, that would be great.
Sarah's there.
That's kind of where I actually feel that it might go with that. Like, Sarah sees Thea there. It's like, almost in a sense, what are you doing here? Like, like what are you doing? You know?
I want to see that black and gold for one. Like that's a.
And they had the red coat, but they had a stupid gray.
I know. Why didn't she just have a yellow T-shirt? That's all. Just wanted a yellow T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna show a picture just for everyone who doesn't know me. Here it is. I'll show a picture.
AKA me.
Yeah, hold on. Mia, Dearden, Speedy. Yeah, so just to give you an example of like what her costume looks like.
Cool
It's the red and yellow. Screen share. Desktop. Alright. Here is the red and yellow. Mia. There's the black and yellow. So this is like her colors. So she's wearing red, and we're just like, why can't you just add a yellow scarf, and it would have been all good. But yeah, so that's a little example of what she looks like. But for Chris and Joe, or maybe a little less Mia fans, or even not even know Mia, what do you think a little bit about those stuff?
Which Chris?
Oh, that's true. Well, Cirque show.
Oh, I know about her. Oh, I know about it. I was just letting everybody talk and stuff.
Well, are you like a big Mia fan, or are you like a smaller Mia fan?
I'm a small, but I mean I know about her and stuff like that. But just the whole Thea thing, I thought was done well. I love the fact that like I said that she shot her dad. It shows the darkness in her. It shows that she's tired of all this extra crap. And I love the fact that she went back to her dad, because you're going to get that training. I think she's going to be the one that the writers were talking about. Like, you're not going to see them for like the first half of the season. I think she might come in like in the mid of season 3 out of nowhere.
I would love to see her show up in the mid-season finale.
Yeah, I think that's the person they're talking about. That you're not going to see her for a while. You're going to probably even forget about her, and then right then and there, that's when they're gonna show her again. I don't know. I'm super excited for like the direction she went in. I love the fact that she left Roy.
Yeah, I really like that she went with Malcolm.
I love the fact that she left Roy, because it gives Roy the real opportunity to become the person that he's destined to become, and it gives her that opportunity to become the person that she's supposed to become. And you don't have like that whole lovey-dovey crap in the middle. They can go out and do what they need to be done, what they need to do, and come back and they both be stronger. So overall, I just like. I thought that was one of the stronger parts of the episode, like her and Merlin and stuff. I thought that was just really, really well done.
Yeah, I think Thea is really a dark horse of the show, and that's why I kind of get annoyed, like when people on Twitter just say, "Well, she sucks because she whines and she's a teenager." I'm like, well, how have you found out Malcolm Merlin was your father? I feel like the interactions were like, again, like some people on Twitter say it really badly, but yeah, I just feel like half of you went through all that stuff. I think she just.
I mean, it's understandable, because if you really think about it, she's been through a lot of stuff. Her mom was stabbed right in front of her. How do
the sword touched her face.
How do you not want to kill someone for not being there that could have saved her mother?
Yeah.
My God. You just feel so bad for her is the thing, and that's the main driving force with Thea, and I think that's what's going to make her into such a great character. And it's going to hurt you even more when she becomes a villain, because you just felt so bad for her at this point.
Yeah, and you know she's gonna. I think she's definitely gonna train between that break, and we'll see her hopefully as an archer or something. Any other thoughts on Thea? Like speculations on her, or just
I
normal
can only imagine what Ollie's gonna feel when he sees that. Like,
He's gonna see her face to face. He's like, "I thought you left town." It's like, "Yeah, I left town." Look
Yeah,
right now.
I think that's what I'm more worried about. For when she becomes stronger, better, and she has that one-on-one confrontation with Oliver and how he takes it. I think that's what I'm most excited about for season 3. Is just that confrontation with brother and sister and how that's all going to play out. Because by that time, she might be a little brainwashed. Marilla might tell her some things. So that past that she left behind is going to be no more. Like that Thea that Oliver
Thea
knows.
Queen is
Gonna be
dead.
no more.
I think she's gonna be honestly call herself Mia Dearden. That's my guess, because
Yeah,
Dearden
I
to
think
me
so too.
her mom.
Yeah, and that's what I think too.
definitely assume that it's gonna be Malcolm's way of getting back at Ollie. You know, use his sister. You know, as
And
won't
honestly,
kill her.
I think the making them brother and sister is what really kind of was a better move for the show than making her just a random sidekick that he picks up off the streets, because you really kind of just have that connection, and them separating brother and sister is just tough, because those of us that have siblings, we know how strong that bond can be. So of course having those two apart and seeing what they're going to go through is much more impact than just a random friend you meet on the street.
Yeah, and
I agree.
you got to think about what the letter read. At the end of that letter that she wrote to Roy, she said that I'm never coming back. And to kind of put it into terms, like she's saying, like Thea Queen's never coming back.
She personally will come back, but the Thea Queen
personally come back
season will not come back.
Yeah, Thea that you know, that everybody loves, she's not going to be back. And that's what I took from that letter. And that's what's making me more excited for season 3. So
I got to say, that really showed Willow Holland's chops as an actress, because she was just, the way she delivered that, even though it was a voiceover, it was just...
Her voiceovers are great. I remember I just recently saw Tiger Eyes, and
oh, you finally saw Tiger Eyes? Tiger Eyes was awesome.
Yeah, honestly, if you guys are a Thea fan or you're not a Thea fan, you want to really see Willow Holland's great acting, especially mourning for a character. It's all about a movie about mourning about her father. Great movie. I recommend it. It's called Tiger Eyes. But Joe, what do you think I don't know if you're a Thea fan or not, but what did you think about the whole ending?
As for Thea, I like Thea. I mean, I didn't know everything that you guys had been telling me before tonight. She was just Ollie's lovable sister for me.
Mm-hmm.
But after hearing what all of you had to say, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't know any of this, so I didn't know where she could be going, but it sounds fun. It all sounds fun. And now when you guys are just talking about, her possibly going evil, right? That's what you were saying at one point? And I keep getting this vision of her face-to-face with Roy and then fighting. And I think that would be a very, very cool scene, very strong scene. So that's something I want to see. But that's why I just keep seeing that one scene. That's what I'm hoping we get down the line if she does become a villain. I
honestly see the beginning of season 3, just her going on rooftops with a bow and arrow. That's my vision I keep seeing with Thea. It's just her running on rooftops with her father with bow and arrow. That's I hope the vision I'll see in season 3.
I think
I'm sure she's gonna become a stronger character. I mean, I don't want to wait this whole hiatus to see that, but I think that's the most exciting thing for the next season. It's honestly Thea's story for me.
I think it would be really cool to see if Roy moved on and maybe it's with Cheshire. And then,
we'll definitely talk about Cheshire because we're getting tons of comments about her. So
Thea comes back, because that would be great to see. Just that it would be kind of like an explosive love triangle. We, Kat, you and me as Vampire Diaries fans, the CW loves their love triangles. I think this is a good one. This is a good love triangle they can use. Sure.
Yeah, and they already have a lot of love triangles in this show, but I think they utilize it in a way that doesn't feel very CW. But actually going into love triangles, let's talk about Felicity.
Oh my! They need to stop playing with my emotions.
Yeah, stop playing, man. Oh,
my emotions.
What I found, Felicity, Oliver and Felicity, I'm such a big fan of this freaking relationship.
I
When I saw
ship
that,
them
I'm like,
so
yes,
much.
he said I love you, and I'm like, no, it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean they bought it? What? No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't. What I wanted from that was when they said I bought it. Ollie walks away, and Felicity almost like, yeah, like in the very emotional, yeah, they bought it. Like but she really wants it, and I was like, come on. I was kind of really heated about that one.
No, and like the thing that gets me, the reason I like them so much is because it reminds me so much of Oliver and Chloe. And Oliver and
Oh,
Chloe
yeah.
is one of my favorite relationships. Smallville, say what you want about Smallville, but I love those two.
I agree. I love Lolly. But is
Yeah.
everyone else a fans here, or?
I am.
I am. I love it.
I am.
I'm that guy again.
You're not a listening fan.
No, I don't like it.
I love shipping them.
I'm that guy. Yeah, I don't know. I like Oliver with actually Laurel, even though I don't personally like Laurel that much. I think Oliver and Laurel is nice for the story. Felicity and Oliver, I don't know, it just doesn't fit for me. She's more of the friend, the team. So I don't know. I don't like it. And the more they're teasing it, the more it seems inevitable, and I don't like it.
I think the reason they're going on Felicity is because everyone knows that Laurel and Oliver are gonna probably end up together, because that's the comics. It's Dinah, and because Laurel's Dinah. Black Canary and Oliver, that's like the relationship. But Felicity, it's like every single time Oliver interacts with a computer genius like Smallville, Chloe and Oliver, now Oliver and Felicity, there's some chemistry. And I feel like there's more chemistry between those two in scenes, and that's why I really like it. With Laurel and Oliver, I remember in season 1, they were just
The chemistry was so forced. It was so forced, especially in the beginning when he was like, "Oh, I have to push her away because I have to protect her." Come on, man. Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I don't know.
That's straight out the Spider-Man book. Push her away to protect her.
The Felicity thing, for me, it was really good. The only thing I didn't like about it is that these damn writers, they keep teasing us and, like, stop. We deserve, like, I'm going to do a bad analogy, but y'all bear with me. All right? Felicity is kind of like, the way the writer's doing Felicity and stuff, it's kind of like a fat person with cheesecake. All right? Now, bear with me here. It's like if you sit next to like a fat person eating a cheesecake, and then they look at you and they try to share that cheesecake. No, don't share that cheesecake. You deserve that cheesecake, big. You eat that cheesecake.
What?
Listen.
That is probably the best analogy I've ever heard about Felicity ever.
I'm about to go to church on y'all. All right, Felicity is like that cheesecake. We deserve to eat that cheesecake. We're the fat girl. We deserve
Is Laurel like the apple, or
Yeah.
a healthy snack?
Laurel is like that celery that nobody wants.
Like the fiber bar?
Yeah. That big girl don't want that fiber bar. She wants that double Mac cheeseburger. That's what we want. We want Felicity and a double Mac cheeseburger. So
But see, in this case, I'm allergic to what they put in the burger then. I don't like it.
I'm kind of hungry now.
You're missing out, Joe, then. Come on.
I love
I
it.
eat the burger, I'm like, oh.
We
ew.
deserve it. So, I don't know. We deserve it.
That was a great analogy. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, with Felicity, I think they're just teasing it for future seasons. Do I think it's going to happen? They're teasing it too much not to happen. And
Yeah.
like I said, I don't think Cassidy, why can't I think of her name?
Cassidy Post.
Yeah, the one who plays Laurel. I don't think she has great chemistry with Stephen Amell at all. And I think when she just has emotional scenes, like her facial expressions just don't work. And then that's why I think she doesn't have really great like romantic scenes. She doesn't have good crying scenes, but she has kind of good action scenes. Like I do like her action scenes, but every other scene, like her facial expressions kind of need to change. I think Sarah had the same thing. I remember the beginning of Sarah, her voice was like horrible, and then she fixed it as the season went on. I remember I couldn't hear a word she was saying. She always muttered everything.
I actually like Laurel better with Tommy, to tell you the truth.
Oh yeah, me too. On it, like Tommy, I don't know. I'm kind of glad he's dead.
Detective Lance, in terms of when he talked, there are times I barely understood what he said. He just
yes, when he just like
a lot of things. It's just like, I was like, what?
He reminded me of Stallone with the way he talks sometimes.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
so,
I thought
but
acting on the show is like honestly, I think the best actors was Susan Thompson who played Mora. Stephen Amell has gotten 100% better, and Will Holland, honestly, I think. And Slade, he kind of overacts sometimes, but I think Will Holland was great too.
Although I wish they had utilized the actress who played the mom more because.
Yeah, I think she's one of the best actors on the show. So.
No, I'm not talking about Oliver's mom. I'm talking about Sarah and Laurel's mom. Cause she,
the one from the. I don't watch the show, but Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
Doctor Who, yep.
Yeah.
She's a great actress from there. I really wish they would have used her more. Maybe it made like another JSA reference, but obviously she hasn't had the thing with Black Canary, but it's all good.
And explain for the comics, Laurel's mom was comic books, so that's how she took over the name. So that's why.
For all you guys out there, for all those who don't know, Laurel's mom is.
Although, can I just say, like, why did she keep going by Laurel if we know that her middle name is Laurel? Why can't she just go by Dinah and get
Dinah, you're right? Yeah, Dinah Laurel Lance. That's her name. It's just like, yeah, why are they calling her that? It's kind of funny. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, they screw up with the names in this whole show. They just try to, I guess, have fun with it. But
something else that I kind of wanted to see was like the sign that said like "Welcome to Starling City" and the LING just falls off.
Oh yeah,
yes. Because in the comics, it's not called Starling City, it's called Star City. So that's like, I don't know why they added Starling City for the show.
There was no, I don't see a point in that, but that's another thing for another time.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. All right, so let's talk about the last part of this finale, and then we'll go into like overall season, then get into the questions. But yeah, Oliver and Slade, like, what did you think of the whole fight? I mean, I love the poeticness again of like the past. Going into the present, but it was a little underwhelming at times. I mean, that I think was the most underwhelming part was probably the Oliver and Slade fight. Even though the fighting was great, it was kind of underwhelming.
It was the poetic of it, like you said, was there. I enjoyed it, but then there were times like it would go back to the present. Like, okay, how did that happen when they were here and they were here?
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, where's
that was a little bit of a bad editing job.
Yeah, it was bad editing in my part. I was like, okay, Ollie loses his mask, but he had it on, not doing where to go. It's like, but other than that, I like the poeticness of it. Like, okay, this was leading up to how Slade loses his eye and things like that, and I was fine with that. The fight choreography has always been pretty damn good in my opinion for the show. So that was there, but definitely, that scene was kind of poorly edited in my opinion.
Yeah.
I looked at it.
I want to make a Disney reference real quick. I was thinking Scar versus Mufasa I'm not Scar versus Mufasa, Scar versus Simba. I saw this fight.
It was definitely not as epic.
No, it wasn't. It was nowhere near that epic, but like that's the vibe it kind of gave off.
I just feel like with this show, there's been actually a lot better episodes in the middle of the season than this finale. Not saying the finale was horrible. I still gave it 4.5. I thought it was still like compared to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought was a solid finale. I thought this was 100 times better.
I think Manu Bennett does a great job as Deathstroke for sure. And I like the fact that without the Mirakuru now, he's starting to have like the gray hair. So he actually resembles more of his, comic counterpart in the comics.
You know what? You saying that, Jay? I feel that since he's had the miracle in him the longest, that's going to be a side effect. His hair becomes white, and he's going to go through more withdrawal of it. Like, you'll see, like, certain things happen more to him. That was something that I also looked at it, because he's kind of, you saw him in a cell, he's like, twitching around, and like, where am I? And it's just, I feel that you're going to see more withdrawal, like you're getting off a drug. You've been on a drug for too long, you're going to start seeing more side effects. And
and it was over a decade.
You might see that with Roy, too. You never know. Like, we only saw Roy for a few minutes. We might see, like, some withdrawals in the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so any other thoughts on Slade and Oliver, or?
I loved it. I thought it was really, really cool. Let's see. I don't know, like everybody said, just pick back up. It was poetic in certain scenes. You really, for me, you really saw that they were giving their all, especially like during the present fight where there was one part, I don't know if everybody caught it, where Oliver just swung and he completely missed and just falls to the ground, and then Slade does the exact same thing. So they're putting their all into it, and you still see like while Oliver's fight, he's still trying to figure out like how in the heck am I going to beat this guy without actually killing him. So that's what I was enjoying because I felt like, oh, maybe he's just going to save him, or maybe Oliver might kill him right then and there. So I was always on the edge of my seat during that last fight because I always felt like it could either way. So yeah, I mean, it was cool for me.
You know what I found kind of funny about that in general, like the whole killing thing? Not to cut you off, but like something that I found funny that I mentioned in my review was the fact that it was like basically, Oliver, the whole time Oliver was saying, I'm not going to kill anybody, not going to kill anybody, and people that were telling him not to kill at first are telling him to kill.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I liked about the episode so much is because you have everyone saying, yo, like, I know you don't want to kill, but man, this guy's been kicking our asses like this entire year. Like, you have to kill him because that's the only way to stop. So you saw this struggle with Oliver to the very end. So yeah, I just thought it was good because you saw that struggle because everybody was telling him like, yo, you should have killed him like a long time ago. You didn't kill him. You need to kill him now. And it made for a great. I'm glad that he didn't kill him because if you watch my reviews, I've been saying like I do not want Slade to die because
I mean, it'd be stupid if they killed off Slade in the season.
Because he's one of their best villains. There's no way they'd kill off.
Not even one of the best villain. I think the only two villains that are even good in this show is Dark Archer and
Slade Wilson.
Slade Wilson. So
yeah, I've made no qualms about it that they've done all the other villains poorly, except for Slade and them. And that's my biggest fear of introducing more of Ollie's road into the show is that
they really messed up one of my favorite Green Arrow's villains, but that's just that's just gonna start a rant. But I'm not gonna mention him. But Chris knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think I know who you're saying. So, but any other thoughts on Slade and Oliver?
I think it's funny that he's in prison, but on the island. I think that was really ironic. I was like, look at karma hit your ass big time, boy. Like, now you're on the island. It's good. That's cool. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I thought that was really cool.
I agree. I thought that was a great moment. I mean, we're going to see Slade again. We all know that. Will he be in season 3? I honestly hope not. I would like to see him in a future season, just kind of make
I think they're going to save him for a future season. They're going to bring in Hive and his wife Adeline later on.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Give me like 4 or 5, bring him back. Really pissed off. I'm good. I don't need to see him in 3, but you give me 4 or 5, season 4 or 5, then yeah, you bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back in 4 or 5. Have his wife, with Hive, and then have like maybe Grant, Rose, or Jericho. One of those 3, or all 3.
Or Isabel come back and not be dead.
Yeah.
Something. But
yeah, so those are all the questions I had about the season finale. But do you guys have any questions for each other for the season finale before we go into total season?
Sure. I'll save it for total season because.
Well, if you guys have any if you guys have any questions for the total season, you could ask those too, and we could start that. But so, Joe, what was your question?
Well, I was also just thinking because the finale kind of, it came to it. Do you think? I always ask this in my reviews. Do you think they juggled too many storylines? That being with Slade and the Suicide Squad and Roy, because we go episodes without seeing Roy.
I can say that for sure. Yeah, they did juggle too many storylines.
I can agree with that one. I definitely can concur.
Because like I said, the Suicide Squad stuff wasn't really needed. I don't even see the point of them. Roy, they should have fleshed out more. But like you said, there were whole episodes without Roy, and he'll just randomly show up and help. And then Sin was somebody that I liked a lot that I wish we should have seen more. The girl that was friends with Sarah that helped out a lot. I thought she would have been cool to see more of. Like, where was she this whole episode?
Oh yeah, Sin we hardly even saw her.
Sin.
Like I felt like Sin should have been introduced another season because she wasn't utilized at all in this season, really.
Yeah, but that was cool. I mean, but they did juggle too many storylines, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they juggled too many storylines. But I think for them juggling too many storylines, they still did a better job than a lot of shows when they juggle too many storylines.
Yeah, I mean, you hardly notice it unless you're a reviewer, I think.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
as a regular TV watcher, you're not going to notice it as much.
Yeah, so I give them props for that. Like I said, I still think they juggled too much, but they did a better job than a lot of shows and a lot of like movies and stuff like that. So I give them praise.
It was a decent balance at least.
Yeah, I give them a lot of praise for that.
I totally agree. Any other questions from, that you guys want to ask each other? Any other questions you guys have?
The one thing well, this is actually out to the audience as well, but I've always asked this, and I've always wanted to get people's opinion on it or answers. Like, what's one character that you definitely want to see in a future season or guest star on this show?
Artemis.
That's a good one.
We're going good or bad. Good, I'll go with Artemis or Arrowhead, and then bad, I'll go with Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a big one I want to see.
That's a good one too.
All right, anyone else?
Onomatopoeia?
Yeah, Onomatopoeia is this big villain that in the comics that they fight. That it's a big non-powered villain that they go against, and basically he just basically speaks in onomatopoeia. Like when he hits somebody, he goes bam, and then
Oh
he shoots
my
someone.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
he's one of Green Arrow's rogues guys.
Yep.
If
if he shoots someone, he'll just say "pow," things like that.
That's so cheesy. That's great.
And he was created by Kevin Smith. So, and the funniest thing is Kevin Smith thinks he's a stupid character to have on TV, but I want him to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like with Arrow, they can still do it though. They could definitely do that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say who else. I think Sark and Joe are left. And Chris, you went? No, Chris, I don't think you went. So, other Chris, both Chris's.
Okay, so which Chris wants to go first?
Let's start with Sark.
Let's say Sportsmaster, and that's it. Sportsmaster, and somebody else can go. I just said Sportsmaster.
Sportsmaster would be cool, especially with Cheshire. Yeah, especially.
Yeah, I agree with Sports. I said this in my review, but I take a writing for television class in college, and I wrote a whole episode with Cheshire and Sportsmaster, and I'll have it posted probably like in 2 weeks. So
that version of Sportsmaster from Young Justice I would want to see on Arrow, because the real Sportsmaster I don't want to see.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Young Justice version. Like that's how I did it.
Yeah. Real Sportsmaster kind of sucks.
Oh, and Joe, I totally recommend Young Justice. It's like one of the best shows ever. It's on Netflix. So.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just the first season though, but the second season is easy to find online.
For me, I think I want to see Brick the most. I want to see him.
Hopefully, I think they would screw him up though.
Yeah.
They would definitely screw up Brick, just like they would screw up Blockbuster. Blockbuster would be one I want to see too.
Yeah, look how they did.
Don't say it.
Grundy. Like, yeah,
Someone just mentioned that in the comments.
Yeah.
No joke.
They destroyed Grundy.
Grundy was terrible. Like, even people that watch the Justice League cartoon know that's not Solomon Grundy. Like, when they see that
He's one of the few characters I actually knew. And I'm like, all right, Solomon Grundy, what the hell is this?
Like, this is not Solomon Grundy.
On a Monday, that was just no, they didn't.
Man, I was expecting like some kind of zombie. Where's the zombie at?
Well, he did get acid, right?
Yeah, he got acid.
I mean, but so did Tommy Lee Jones, but that doesn't make him Two-Face.
Oh God. I don't know, maybe he can come back. Maybe he can actually be cool this time around. Maybe it was just a rough start, a rough introduction.
Yeah,
never know.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Joe, how about you?
As for me, I'm not as familiar with comic books as you guys, so my selection is very limited to choose from. if we're going with good and bad, I would have to say actually Harley Quinn because they put her in there, and I think that's interesting. They put her in there, even if it was a little cameo. They did it for a reason. So I'm kind of curious about that. I want to see if they do anything with it, and if they do, are they gonna? They can't do the Joker. That's too much of Batman villain.
Yeah, I think it'd just be Harley.
I want to see
which
Harley
I'm okay with, because I think Harley. I'm afraid though Harley could overshadow the show, and I can see that happening.
Really overshadow the show. That's the thing.
Harley
Harley has such a hardcore fan base, myself included. I mean,
Yeah, me too. I love Harley.
that Harley would just completely overshadow everyone. Everybody would just be like, all right, when's the next time we get to see Harley? When's the next time we get to see Harley?
I mean, that's kind of the reason why I've always said, like, was my problem kind of with the first season of was like they shoved too many Batman villains in there.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you too many, and it's like, why are you putting so many? And with Harley, she just has that personality that can just fill a whole episode by herself. And just like you said, Jay, it's like, yeah, people are just like, okay, when's she's coming back? I want, and that was my biggest fear when it showed the blonde hair and the pigtails, and you just heard, hello, I can help, and they're like,
I think it was just like, I'm Harley Quinn, I'm a therapist.
yeah.
Do you kiddos need a little psychological help? I'm a therapist.
It was Tara Strong who did the voice. So.
Yeah, that was great. But still, like, she's someone I would like to see in a Batman show, sure, but
not Gotham. I'd rather see her in Arrow than freaking Gotham.
Actually, I would like to see her in Gotham as an actual therapist.
Yeah, I guess.
For my defense, I don't know any Arrow villains, so I only have everyone else's villains to go off of. I'm just saying Harley Quinn because they put her in there, and I think they could kind of reinvent her in a way that wouldn't do too much damage, to her character, but I think would make her be able to stand out on her own. And I think that'd be interesting. I think that'd be a nice, reinventing of the character. So I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, if they reinvented it, then I could be okay.
Very good.
And that's,
but before we move on to like villains that we want to see, I want to say that I want a legit Count Vertigo because Count Vertigo is too big of a villain for all of us.
I agree. He's
I didn't like how he was in this, so I'm. That's all I know him by.
Stupid. He was like a drug dealer, and that's it.
He was trying too hard to be like a mixture of Mark Hamill's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh yeah, he was trying.
Yes.
I think it was the worst villain. No, next to Firefly.
No, Firefly was terrible. That was the worst episode. Oh my. The guy that was the former. He was in the episode. He was the firefighter that was like obsessed with fire and burning everything.
Oh, he was terrible.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst episode ever of the show, and season 1 has some pretty bad ones.
Yeah. In the comics, he's actually a pyrotechnic for
for like bands and stuff.
Bands and movie sets and things like that. But in the show, they made him a burnt firefighter, and I was like, okay, really? They're gonna go that way with him? I was like,
I think most of the villains of the week, that they've done, were bad. Clock.
Because they were. Well, Clock King was decent. I think that was okay.
He was played by what's his name from Heroes, Robert Nepper. So
again, I only know him from the show. It was terrible. From only knowing him from the show, I hated it.
I think he was definitely one of the weaker ones from this season, but I think there was a lot more weaker ones last.
Yeah, there are a lot more weaker ones than him, but he was in the higher of the weak ones, I guess. But definitely, I'd like to see a legit Count Vertigo because he's one of the biggest villains for Green Arrow. He's like the Dr. Doom of the DC universe, pretty much.
I was glad he got killed. Actually, I was like, yeah, good.
Yeah,
I remember. I think I cheered when that happened. I'm like, well, he sucks anyways. So
I did too. I mean, I'm just hoping that they pull a Mandarin and it's just like
Yeah, like the real one.
Yeah, that was just an actor, and I'm tired. I don't like that person using my name in vain. Take a trip to Lotto, and then bam.
Yeah.
Count Vertigo.
So, any other thoughts on I guess the villains of the season? Let's maybe talk about that. Like the villains. I'm glad that Slade was really the only villain this season. I thought Clock King was okay. Nissa was great. I thought that was one of my favorite episodes, which we'll get to when we talk about worst and favorite episodes. But yeah, there were very few villains, which I think was good for this season because the villain.
I gotta say, I'm kind of cringing a bit because I saw something with Stephen Amell saying that the list is coming back.
Really? The worst part is
I know.
Why?
I know. I cringed. I saw something and he was like, the list is gonna
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, but I hope it was just something fabricated. I hope it's just something I read. I'm gonna ignore it because Arrow is going great how it is. No more lists. No more I don't mind the youth of the city, but keep the list in the fire. He burned the list for a reason. Keep it there.
I agree. Cirque, what did you think about all the villains of this season?
They were cool. I mean, you had some hits and misses, just like the first season. I mean, there's a lot more hits second season than misses. But like I said, I think I like the fact because even though they had like the villain of the week, they still found a way to let you know that Deathstroke, he's still the main focus of this entire season. Yeah. So
they plotted it a lot better this season than they did last season.
So I like the fact that you get your Clock King and stuff like that, your Solomon Grundy, but you still get that Deathstroke, he's right around the corner knocking on your door. He's doing something crazy. What is he going to do?
That was a good format. I'll agree with that.
I give him that. So yeah, I mean nobody stands out really for me as a villain of the week. Maybe except for the Clock King, I thought he was really good because he's played by the guy that I really love from Prison Break. So I really enjoyed that episode. But other than that, he was the only person that stood out as a villain other than Deathstroke. Oh, and Nessa, but I don't really count her as a villain. She's just a pissed off lesbian chick. So.
You just want Sarah back.
I'm waiting for the Scott Pilgrim-esque episode where they have just the awkward X showdown.
Yeah. So I mean, I loved her though. I really enjoyed her. She was probably my favorite part, other than Deathstroke. Getting her and putting that little nugget in. One downfall to the season for me is that they introduced her so late that they didn't have time to put her back in until the final. I would like to see her 2 or 3 more times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think because they're trying to utilize the league a little bit more in season 3, so that's why I think they just planted the seeds. But I have a feeling we're gonna be at the league, really at the place by season 3.
I want to see how they adapt. I want to see how they adapt Nanda Parbat, the home location of the league, and what that's going to look like on the show.
Exactly. I hope it's not too many special effects, because I didn't like the boat special effects. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Did you guys see the terrible drone strike? That was such bad CGI.
I'd rather them just not use CGI. I understand you don't have that much of a budget. I mean, you have a good amount of budget, but CW, you're not going to get NBC and ABC's budget. So just don't do those things.
Yeah.
Step away from that. But yeah, so we're going to get back to panel questions, but I'm going to ask, let's go over all the season. I'm going to go down the panel again for this question, but favorite episode of the season. So since Chris Cirqueshow's not here at the moment, I'm going to go to Joe. What was your favorite episode of the season?
That is a very good question. Might have been the one where Moira died, I think.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, so I'm a little surprised. I do remember it being strong pretty much for the entire episode. So, again, I don't remember the first half of the season at all, but from this half, I definitely go with the Moira one.
Yeah, I didn't really love the first half of the Moira one, so I don't know if I could pick that as my favorite. That's my favorite, OMG moment of the show.
I feel like I'm forgetting one.
That was a pretty good OMG
I think it was a Deathstroke episode or something. I'm forgetting one that I know I probably liked more.
Yeah, I think Deathstroke was really good. I'm trying to think. Or maybe that wasn't the Deathstroke one. That was Seeing Red.
That was
I
my
don't know. I mean,
favorite
there's some
episode.
really good episodes.
Yeah, there was one Deathstroke. I think that might be the one I'm thinking of.
It was
I'm not-
there was an episode called Deathstroke where he was like
Yeah, that
in
might
the
be it.
house, where he was in the house and he was like, like just pretending to be all nice with the family, and then he planted all the bugs in the house, and then you see the scene at the end where he's just staring at the screen, and then you see the eye socket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a pretty good episode.
Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't remember. I don't think so. Probably from hearing you guys, that'll probably make me think of it.
Alright.
So.
All right, cool. So, Mount Vernon Kid, Chris, what was your favorite episode of the season? Even if you don't know the episode name, like, just know what happened in the episode.
I will definitely say when Mara died, because that caught me really, really bad. I was just like, oh, no. Because that really, for me, actually started to, as knowledgeable I am of the Arrow universe, it was just really like, once they started saying Ollie had a kid, I'm like, oh, so are they...
Still shocked you?
Yeah, it was like they're hinting at certain things. I was
Because
like,
in the comics, Oliver has a kid named Connor Hawk, so that's going to be the kid of the show. So it's kind of interesting to see how they...
Yeah, and if you pause it and you see the file that Moira's looking at, the woman's name is Sandra Hawk. So.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't pause it, but I had a feeling it was. So.
that was a good episode for me. I thought that was really good. I can't really remember when Anissa did come. I enjoyed that a lot because that was like, oh, we're getting the love triangle here. Like, okay, and I did kind of get a little bit of a Scott Pilgrim vibe to that episode. Like, I was like, oh, okay, so you got Ollie fighting, her over Sarah and things like that. It was cool. That was another good episode. I thought when before they revealed before the episode when Roy got captured, and I thought that was Scarecrow they brought in before we found out that was Brother Blood. That was a pretty decent episode for me too. That was when I thought.
Actually, I'm going, Chris.
Yeah, I thought that was actually when they brought Scarecrow and he had the mask on and everything.
Yeah, that freaked me out. I was like, please don't let it be Scarecrow.
I was like, please don't let that be Scarecrow, but it turned out it wasn't. But that was good too.
Just to pause for the moment for best episodes, I just want to bring up Brother Blood. Do you think he was utilized well? I thought he was good, but I didn't really like how he went out.
I feel like it was a cop out with how he went out because it was a complete 180. He's doing all these horrible things, but then he tries to cop out by saying, "Oh, I was doing it to protect the city. Let me help you, Oliver," and then he died.
Yeah, I will go with that one too because when him and Ollie sat down in front of each other, and Ollie tells him, "Yeah, I'm." And, he was more like saying, I did this for the city. I'm like, dude, but you were involved, even though you may not have pulled the trigger, you was involved of knowing that Slade was going to do this. And
he had a mask made. I mean,
exactly. You might not have pulled the trigger, but you loaded the gun.
So if it was me sitting at that table and he was like, what are you going to do? You going to kill the mayor? I would have at least punched his ass like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure you remember this. Like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna remember like you were involved in my mother's death. Like, and then him doing a whole 180. Yeah, it was like really. So when he died, I wasn't really like, oh, the mayor.
I mean, the writers were trying to make him sympathetic at the end, but it was a fail.
So to me, I was just like, oh, you're dead. Suck it. I don't care. Like, suck it.
That wasn't the real Brother Blood anyway.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't even a real Brother Blood anyway. It's like, yeah, so I was cool. That was all right with him dying. I didn't care.
So, Cirque, what did you think about Brother Blood?
I liked him more towards the end. The beginning, he felt a little awkward, felt a little out of place. But the end of it, I really enjoyed him. I thought.
Oh, sorry. Go on, sir.
Yeah, no, just the end. Like I said, I felt like they really found like what his character was. I mean, he still like in the beginning, he still had like some good character moments. We find out about like his mom and what he did to like I guess his dad and stuff like that. That was cool and that was really interesting. But it was still a little cluttered during the beginning, and he felt a little awkward being put in there. But once you figured out that he was working for Deathstroke, or he was working, for Slade and stuff like that, then he became a lot more interesting once he started running for mayor, and that's when I really started to get into his character.
All right, how about you, Joe, on Brother Blood, and then we'll go back to best episodes.
I only know Brother Blood again from the TV show, and when he first came in, he just seemed like a Scarecrow ripoff. And then when we found out he was working for Slade, that was just that. He was basically Slade's pawn. He was Slade's if Slade's the CEO, he's the manager. You know what I mean? So he never really felt like a villain in his own right. So I mean, he was a throwaway character for me.
Yeah, so going back to best episodes, we're up to Jeremy. So what was your best episode?
My best episode has to be Heir to the Demon. Basically because I was actually very scared for this episode because Ra's al Ghul is one of my favorite. Well, actually, he is my favorite Bat villain out of Batman's Rogues Gallery. And I was wondering how they were going to do Nyssa because, I mean, not many people know about Nyssa. Everybody who knows about Ra's daughters knows about Talia.
Exactly.
So I was
I honestly didn't know about Nyssa. And I'm a comic book fan. I didn't know about Nyssa.
Yeah, so I was wondering how they were going to pull this off. I was like, are they going to go the Holocaust survivor route? Are they going to, how they can't do all of that. So what are they going to do with her? How are they going to play her off? And her character just had so much personality for that short time that we got. My only complaint was that we didn't get to see her more, and it flushed out Sarah's character so well because there was that mystery that was still with Sarah at the time that you really got exposed to in that episode where you got to see, oh, so this is what Sarah was about. This is where she learned to do this, and this is how she became this type of character, and why she's so dark now.
Yeah.
So that's why that was my favorite episode.
I totally agree with that. All right, so Chris, Cirque, what did you think? What was your best episode?
Like I said, I like the League of Shadows one, or League of Assassins one. The one I really like that no one really talks about, for me, I really liked it was State versus Queen one.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
That was a good episode. I do like the dramatic dialogue that is in it.
And even as a Thea episode, that was really great with Mora. Just her interaction with her.
It was more of a, it wasn't very action-packed or anything, but it was more of just a dialogue-heavy episode. A lot more character development on everybody's part. So it was a good episode for me. A lot of people, when I did the review, it was like, oh, it sucked, it was slow. I like the dialogue. I like those character moments. So I give it, to that one. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, for me, my top favorite is definitely Heir to the Demon for everyone's reasons. I thought Nyssa was just a really surprising character. And honestly, I really like the Sarah-centric episodes. I don't really know why. I guess just seeing, a badass Black Canary, something we really believe for.
It's also because it's just, there's that mystery to her, too. That was a big element for me, at least.
Yeah, I think a lot of the beginning episodes were really great with Black Canary, and there's some really great centric episodes. And I have to say my favorite was when Quentin finds out that Sarah is, Black Canary, what happened to her. I love that moment. So that has to actually be my favorite episode. I don't remember the name of it, but it was again, when Sarah's coming back to town, it's I need to protect my family, and then Quentin's like, I don't want you to leave, and I just thought those moments were great. And that's the episode I tend to watch over and over again. So yeah.
Was that the one where Laurel was acting like the immature older sister and she threw the bottle at Sarah at the end?
No, that was Heir to the Demon, that episode.
That was Heir to the Demon? Okay.
But Heir to the Demon is one of my favorites too. It's I have to watch the other episodes to see what happened. Heir to the Demon, I remember the full episode I loved, but I love those Sarah moments in the episode I was talking about. But yeah, so we'll go to worst episodes, and now I want to go to best character and worst character, which I think we're all gonna have the same worst character. But let's go to worst episodes. So we're gonna start with Chris, sir. What was your worst episode?
My worst episode?
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but the one where it was really focusing on Laurel and her drug addiction and.
Oh, that one.
I second that.
That's the one.
It was just terrible. I didn't care anything about the character. I felt like it was just. I didn't care. I was like, I didn't care she was going through this traumatic crap, because the character wasn't developed, and so I didn't care about her, and I didn't care about that episode. So it was.
Yeah, he's just so whiny, the character,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning. I think we all hated Laurel in the beginning of the season. So
Still do.
I'm not,
Yeah, I
saying
mean-
I'm not saying I like Laurel. I just hate her. I just hate her less.
I was just gonna say, she's still my least favorite character, but I hate her a little less. I kind of understand where she's coming from. Kinda. Like, there's some good moments with her.
When you hate a hot girl, then something's wrong.
There is, yeah. I understand.
Something's wrong. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of hot girls people hate though, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. We're looking at it.
Okay, so we're up to Jeremy for worst episode.
Worst episode. I don't know what it's called, but the Count Vertigo one. I hate it. Hate it so much.
I think that was so forgettable. Like, honestly, I don't even remember what happened in that.
I hate it because he was trying too hard to be the Joker, and he was like, it was like a weird mix of Joker and Cletus Cassidy, Carnage, like over the top acting, and just.
Didn't he even say why so serious?
Yes,
Yes, he did.
Literally said
And,
those
and,
exact.
and he was licking his lips all the time, like he was taking some psychoactive drugs, like Heath Ledger was. He was doing everything Heath Ledger, and I was just like, no, don't do that. That's not Count Vertigo.
Like, he's obviously a horrible actor. He's just playing off something he saw from Dark Knight.
It's funny because it's my worst episode, but it had one of the best moments where I actually got up and was like, thank you, he's dead.
dude.
Just clap. I think I said the same thing for that. All right, so Chris, Maverick, and Kid, what was your worst episode?
The same one the Sturt was saying. That was exactly I agreed with. I was like, yeah, I don't care for this. It just was just too forced for me personally. It's just like I don't care that Laurel's going through this because she's whiny and she's, as of right now, she's bitch right now. And I'm like, yo, I don't care. Like, just get it over with and be done with it. I was an episode really to the point where I was actually either just wanted to turn it off because I was like, I don't care really.
I have to review the episode, but
yeah, it's like I don't care. It's just well. But yeah, that was
moment of the seasons when she throws the bottle at Sarah. I think that's like the worst moment.
That was the worst moment ever. Like me and Chris had a whole conversation. Me and the Mount Vernon kid had a whole conversation about that.
Yeah, we talked about that one. I was just like, really? Oh, what a bottle for it. Come on. That really irked me.
All right, so Joe, what was your worst Well, I guess Chris will come back. What was your worst episode, Joe?
Well, copy what both Chris's said and paste it, and that's my answer. The Laurel episode, yes, obviously that was so bad, so bad. And if I had to pick a second one, and I don't remember the first half of the season, so I'm just going by the second half. Clock King. I really didn't like that episode.
I could see it. Yeah, that was definitely.
I thought it was okay, but it was cool for a Felicity episode.
That's why I think I can understand, because it was almost like this was a Felicity episode where she's got her own villain. It was for her, and I can understand it. I can understand that.
I liked
the
it.
guy just wore watches and said seconds a lot. Like, that's what made him Clock King. That's what made him bad. I don't know. As someone who doesn't know the comic book counterpart, it didn't make sense to me.
So, Chris, what were you gonna say?
Hey, sorry guys, I have to leave. I have to pick up my roommate. That's why I was going back and forth. I got to pick up my roommate.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry guys, forgive me. I had a great time. So yeah, just keep the conversation going. Hopefully I won't be back too long. I don't know how long y'all are gonna still be going.
Okay.
I'm gonna just keep this up. So if I'm back while y'all there, then I'll just come back and jump in. So I'm gonna just run down the street, pick up my friend, and hopefully I'll be back soon.
All right, sounds good. We'll see how long we're gonna go. I know we still have like questions and stuff to answer too. So.
All right, cool.
All right, see ya.
Hey.
Okay, so what were we up to? Worst episode. Oh yeah, my episode. What was my worst episode? Yeah, I didn't really like the Dig episode, so I hated that Russian episode. I thought it was stupid.
The random just sex scene with like.
Yeah, the whole sex scene with Isabel. I'm like, what was that about? I remember I saw it on vacation.
Although I like she had one of the best lines. She had one of the best lines in that Russia episode though. Do I look like the type that needs to cuddle?
Yeah.
That was great.
And I realized she was probably going to be evil at that point, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. They never really brought it up, but I'm like, oh, that's cool for the future.
It would have been cool to mention it. But yeah, I hated it. That was such a forgettable episode. Suicide Squad, I hated also because it's just a waste. And honestly, the most disappointing episode, Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey was a very disappointing episode.
Birds of Prey. I'm about to leave, but Birds of Prey. Ugh.
Yeah.
They should not have named that episode Birds of Prey. That was a waste.
That was such a waste
honestly,
of an episode.
I think I speak for everybody here when we all say that the actress who played Elena Bertinelli just did not work.
Huntress was terrible. Like, her, please.
She sucks. Honestly, like, what? She's not Huntress. She's horrible.
She's not.
The Laurel and Sour parts are okay there, but that's not Birds of Prey. The thing is, and they made a good Gail Simone reference. The team is all female team. It's Black Canary,
Oracle, and Huntress.
Huntress. So.
And they're good.
They're good. Yeah, they're good. I mean, and Felicity would fill the Oracle role because she's the tech person. I get that.
In the comics, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, is Oracle.
Yeah, it's Oracle because she was paralyzed and then she became since she couldn't be a superhero anymore.
I could see Felicity kind of filling that role. That's
yeah.
I could see it. They didn't do it. They didn't go that route at all.
No, they didn't do it at all, and that's why they shouldn't have named that episode Birds of Prey. They should have saved that name for when they actually got like a legit.
They're probably like called Birds of Prey Part 2 because we screwed up that Birds one, so here you go.
They need to recast Huntress is all they need to do because that's terrible. Like that's my worst episode of season 1. Like you can't just do that to one of my favorite characters of the DC universe.
Yeah, one of my favorite female characters in DC Universe, and screwed her up. Oh God, that's.
So I just had to mention Birds of Prey because I hated it. But yeah, so let's go to like best characters, worst characters, and then we'll answer the questions. So guys, if you're still in the comments, try to ask your questions now because we can't go like too much longer. So try to ask questions. We'll answer as many as possible.
Pick up some good ones.
Yes, we're gonna pick out as many good ones as possible. All right, so let's go to worst character. I feel like we all have the same one. Mine's Laurel, so.
Honorable mention though, Huntress. Huntress gets an honorable mention for worst character.
Honestly, Huntress probably is worse than Laurel, but Laurel we had to deal with more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know what? I have something that none of you guys have.
Okay.
The guy in the Suicide Squad, who was there. He's not Floyd.
The one that got blown up. The one that
I guess so. Him. Wow. Who was he?
Nobody knows. Like he was the random one who like so they could show that they had the chips in the brain.
Yeah, that's all that was.
He just randomly died. I think his name, Shrapnel.
Shrapnel.
There you go.
That's all he was. He was just there to just be showcased. Like they got these chips in their brain. Like if they screw up or they try to run. Bam.
Oh, that reminds me. Did they ever address how they dealt with that, with the Suicide Squad?
I honestly don't even remember that episode. I try to
No, I mean like in the finale. Because like in the finale, Deadshot mentioned, well, how are we supposed to deal with that? We got a little problem, these chips in our brains, and
Nope. They didn't even. Once again, it's just ad-lib. Like, okay, they dealt with it off camera.
No one will ask.
Yeah.
No one asks about those ships and that guy that did.
Everyone will forget about it.
Okay. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who just was like, okay, did they just skip over that?
That's a really good worst character, though. I didn't really think about that. Going to the villains, maybe there is worse characters than Laurel, but
every villain of the week, ever.
Should we mention why we hate Laurel, or is it just obvious?
It's kind of self-explanatory. Like they don't flesh it. Like they. Nothing against the actress, but really the lines they give her, and it is kind of like her execution also, but so really they don't know how to write the character for one.
Again, she's not a horrible actress. I mean, I still don't think she does facial expressions good at all. I don't. But, I mean, she's still not a bad actress. But, I don't know, maybe it's the line she has, you know?
I think it's just the character. I think the character's just bad. I don't think it's her.
It didn't work. And I think they, honestly, because Sarah's like what we wanted with Black Canary. So why do we need Laurel?
Exactly. I don't see after Sarah was introduced, I never saw the point in Laurel. That's why I was like, when I heard the rumor that like the actress was a bitch to the cast and they were gonna kill her off just like they did Charmed with the one sister. Yeah. So I thought they were gonna do that, and I was like, okay, do it, kill her, hurry up.
Laurel was nasty.
Yeah, there was a rumor that the actress who played Laurel was nasty.
Oh wow, I'd watch myself if I was her. Because her character's already so bad.
Connection with people.
You know, that's why I thought they were gonna kill her, and I was hoping for it. I was just waiting for that moment.
I would have a script of her dying, just like taped to my shirt. So that way, like, she could never be nasty to me in that case.
It's like you're gonna die, and it's easy because Sarah's
It's made. Test me. I will put it into play.
I totally agree. I think that would be the best thing to do. But with Sarah, I mean, I think, well, one thing I want to mention about the actress, I think Katie Lotz does all her own stunts. She does parkour and all that.
Parkour.
So, like, she's going to obviously be a better Black Canary than, Katie Cassidy anyway. So.
It was just, the only problem I had with Sarah's character, like, I think we all said, is, like, there were times that you barely understood what she was saying. Like
there was times that she muttered
she had a weird gruff to her voice too. She had a weird kind of gruff at first. Like,
yeah, but then now
it wasn't exactly like a Batman voice, but you know what I mean. She had a little bit of a rasp to her.
Where's Ollie?
I am Black Canary.
I thought that was cool how they showed when she told Laurel like where she got the name Canary from. I was like, yeah, that's where she got it from.
Oh, I love the sister moments. Actually, if anything, I really like the Laurel and Sarah moments. I think they're pretty good.
I did like the little reference that they made in season 1 about the Halloween party and those awful fishnet leggings and the blonde wig.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, so I guess that's our worst characters. Best characters, I feel like maybe we'll have a little bit different. I'll just go first and say best character for me, Thea, obviously. But I want to say exactly why Thea this season. I feel like the way she interacted with, I think, Sin and Roy, I love. Like, she wanted to really get into Roy's personal life. It's like, what's going on? I thought she was a great character, like a really good secondary character to Roy, and again, her development to what we see in the season finale this week. I love what they did with Thea this season, because again, she just could have been this annoying 19-year-old girl, which they did in season 1, and I think they fixed her character when she became a manager of Verdant. But I was also really surprised with Sarah, too. I actually really enjoyed Sarah. So, yeah, those are my 2 favorites, and I love everybody, but those are 2 that stuck out for this season. All right, Jeremy, what was your favorite?
Yeah, for me, like you said, it's a tie between Sarah and Thea because, well, Thea, like you said, I think Thea earns most improved character. She's the most developed.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If she was an award, Thea would get that award. Like
I agree.
I hated her character in the first. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, you know, she thought she was just going to be another annoying teenager, but she turned out to be a real fleshed out and relatable character.
Yeah, her depth was there.
That was the point. You know, that's something Laurel needs, and she doesn't have, and that's why she's the worst character. That's why I think Thea is one of the best.
I agree. All right, so Chris, since other Chris is not here.
Like I said, Speedy, I'm blanking on her name. Yeah, Thea definitely would get my award for that because her character really improved. Like I said, I love Felicity, and she's always brings her A game, so I can't really say anything bad.
Yeah, because again, she was great in season 1, so I want to say season 2.
But definitely in this season, alone, Thea really stepped her game up. I was really impressed by her, just the way she delivered lines, and when she needed to be emotional, it was there. When she needed to be kind of aggressive and angry, it was there.
And it was believable, too. That's the main
exactly.
thing.
It was
Willow Holland was great at being a believable 19-year-old girl in Darling City.
it was there with her. So definitely Thea gets my vote for that very much. I was really impressed by her performance in this season. Hopefully she will continue that and keep it steady.
Cool. So, Joe, who's your favorite character of season 2?
I am surprised that nobody said this.
Slade.
Slade.
True. Slade.
That is
He
true.
was awesome. He made that character. Like,
I agree.
he-
I want to say Slade also.
Yeah, Slade.
just-
Slade definitely gets.
he took the ball, and not only did he run with it, but he ran as fast as Flash.
Yeah, Manu Bennett and Ron Perlman are the two Deathstrokes for me. Like, both of the like. Ron Perlman's the voice, but Manu Bennett can definitely pull off live action. Although Ron Perlman can definitely pull off live action too.
It was an amazing casting for him. He always he was like the governor from Walking Dead. He was very charming at times, even though he's not supposed to be, and still just very intimidating.
What I liked about Slade was I called Slade the king of post-credit scenes, because every time there was a Slade post-credit scene, it was like, oh damn, oh shit.
The one thing I laughed at when they first showed him in his business suit and he had the eye patch, and only certain people will get the reference.
He looked like solid Big Boss.
Big Boss. I was like, yo, that's Big Boss. I was like, oh my god. But
He looked like Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
he definitely was good. And I've always said that about Manu Bennett. It's like he definitely is very underrated in terms.
Yes.
He's a very good actor.
Spartacus is great. I actually got into Spartacus because of his role in
I
Deathstroke.
haven't watched Spartacus, but I want to because I've seen some scenes of it, and he's great in that too. And I think, I love that. Yeah, he did overplay words. Like he would be like, "I have to kill you." Like he'll overplay it. That's Deathstroke.
I made a promise.
Like in this season, this episode alone, when they were showing a flashback, when he heard him, he was like, "Give me the Miracle."
Yeah, like the whole entire.
No, I like how he overused the word kid whenever he was talking to Ollie. Put the bow down, kid. Don't forget who taught you how to fight, kid.
Yeah.
So, Joe, any other thoughts on Deathstroke?
No, I know everyone's saying they don't want to see him back till season 4 and 5, which is understandable. He was the big bad guy of the season, but I'd kind of like to see him thrown in here and there.
Yeah, I want to see what he's doing. I want to see what he's doing.
Exactly.
Not see him
like a Facebook status.
Yeah.
It's like him in the jail cell, just kind of still there and seeing what's happening with him.
Exactly.
Yeah, like what Chris said before. Show the withdrawal symptoms, show his hair turning white, and things like that.
I think definitely you'll see
Like
him it's almost in a sense like what they did with Faith when she went to jail, and Angel would go visit her from time to time.
Oh yeah.
That's how I think it's gonna be. Like they're gonna see him, like what's going on with him, just to make sure because he said, "I'll get out when I do." He's like, "I'm gonna get out." So it makes you wonder, like, okay, there's gonna be a time where he probably does break out or get out or something like somehow.
There's no question about it. Miracle or not, this dude is smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even without the Miracle, he's still going to be very dangerous. And I think, Waller and all of them are going to take that very seriously. And that makes you wonder, like, what's the next kind of flashback, especially.
I actually have a theory about Hong Kong and where Hong Kong is going to be.
Oh yeah, tell us the Hong Kong theory.
Yeah, Joe, you're going to be completely lost because this has everything to do with the comics. But I think that Lady Shiva is going to be the villain that Oliver is going to fight in the flashback to the past in Hong Kong.
That'd be pretty cool.
If that happens, that's an orgasm for me.
Yeah, and then but wait till you hear this part though. Richard Dragon is being played up a lot in New 52 comics for Green Arrow.
Yeah, I see
Now,
that. Yeah.
What if Miss Waller is like? Remember Felicity says, who taught you all this stuff after the island? What if Miss Waller is like, there's a man I'd like you to meet.
Yeah,
Richard Dragon shows up.
I definitely think, yeah, the Hong Kong stuff, then, yeah, they bring Lady Shiva in. Oh, yeah, she's
Because,
one.
I mean, since Lady Shiva's connected to Black Canary, she's connected to
Yeah, a lot of things.
Oliver, she's connected to
Tim.
Connor. She trains Connor, and
Mhm.
so that's a big
Trained
thing for him.
Connor. She trained Tim Drake. Hell, she even trained Batman after he broke his
Broke his
back.
back, yeah. So she's huge. I think Lady Shiva is going to be the Hong Kong villain.
That's
just
a
makes
really
sense.
good.
That's a good theory, Jay.
Mhm.
I like that theory. That's a good theory.
That's a good one. So that is all the questions I have. Do you guys have any questions just overall season for each other? And then we'll get into, so guys, remember in the comments, ask us questions, we'll pick from there. I'll let everyone else pick whatever questions they want to answer. But any other questions?
So what do you think Connor's going to be like in season 3? Since they're gonna they said they're gonna introduce him more in season 3.
Hopefully non-existent. Hopefully just a baby. Hopefully nothing.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
But
he shouldn't be too old.
Yeah, I think he's going to be at least 7 to 8.
Because the one thing I don't want is that they follow, in a sense, the Damien route. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, don't make him Damien.
And for Joe, Damien is Batman's son.
annoying.
Part of the
Yeah,
League
I actually know that one.
Yeah, Damien is a prick. Don't make Connor a prick.
I don't want that from Connor. Definitely, like, yeah, I'm the privileged. You're not his son or something like that. Kind of how Damien was.
Connor's a monk. We can't have him do that.
Yeah.
So literally a monk. So.
Yeah, so you can't. I hope they don't go the Damien route with Connor. I definitely agree with that. But I want to see like maybe an episode, just a filler episode, set off into the future with Green Arrow, Connor Hawk. Just for fun.
I really don't want. The one thing I've never really been a big fan of in TV series in general is time skipping, jumping ahead. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I think the only time it will work is the originals because they kind of need to do that with the baby. So.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my biggest problem at first with Young Justice when they did the time skip, and we had to figure out what happened and everything like that. But
the game actually does a really good job of explaining that.
Yeah, that's why I said it works sometimes. It doesn't always work. And with sitcoms like this, I don't think a time jump is necessary for just to see, Connor grown up or a teenager now, and he's working with his older Ollie, who's, or
I
something
agree. Like, I wouldn't want Connor at all if they're going to do a time skip because there's so many things going on right now anyways. So, I don't know. That's why I'm a little worried of why they even mention Connor because it just kind of doesn't add up.
I think it was just for fan service.
Yeah, I think
it was just for fun.
I think it was just for fan service. It was just just to get people, hey, there you go. See, we know the characters, but I don't think he's essential to right now. He's not essential in my opinion.
I think they're using him as a safety for a spin-off series if they want to do a spin-off series.
Don't they already have a spin-off series?
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, maybe I should mention that before we go into questions. Flash, what do you guys all think about?
That was a fun trailer.
It was a little cheesy, but Cheese Fest was fun to me. I thought it was fun. It made sense to have Ollie be there, because he's been out of, that. So I'm like,
I gotta say, the coolest part though is the running cycle. For a TV budget, that's a good running cycle.
Yeah, that was something I was like, okay, how's the running gonna look? And then also, it's a difference of seeing the costume in a still than seeing it move, and I thought it was pretty well done. I was like, yeah, it looks okay. The only thing I did was he acted a little bit more like Wally.
Yeah.
I got a major Wally vibe.
Much like Wally here,
Joe, did you ever see Justice League the cartoon?
Yes.
Yeah,
that Flash
is Wally.
And he's more of the energetic Flash. This is Barry Allen. He's a little bit more of I'm a scientist type person. That's why we're saying he's a little bit too energetic.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
Barry Allen, Joe
he's a CSI. Yeah.
He's the second Flash, and then there's another Flash before that. He's
Jay
the
Garrett.
older Flash, the golden Flash called Jay Garrett. So
Who's possibly gonna show up? It's not 100% confirmed, but they pretty much said.
Pretty much should happen. But yeah, Flash. I think I'm really excited for Flash. I love all the characters for Flash. Also, I just started getting into Flash a little bit before New 52, so I haven't been a Flash fan for years. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think again we're getting an extended trailer probably tomorrow. So that teaser just like, hey, we have a trailer coming tomorrow. So
I'm a humongous Wally fan. So like I've followed Wally since his Kid Flash days with the Teen Titans. So I like that they're mixing Barry and Wally. I think they could turn the Flash TV show into like a superhero CSI because of Barry's work as a crime scene investigator.
right.
That's pretty much in a sense because I remember the original Flash TV show, so that's I'm kind of
the '90s one, right?
Right now, So that one definitely was a little bit ahead of its time. And if you look at it now, you'll probably look at it like this is kind of corny. But at the time, I was really impressed by it because I'm a huge Flash fan, and I goes with all of them. I read all of them and really found who I like. Each one of the Flashes have something that I like about them, and Wally has that energetic feel to him that is just kind of a mixture of Johnny Storm and in there. So and then Barry's more of the scientific side, and crime drama-esque. So I think they will mix both, Wally and
Which I liked too.
and
It
that's
made me
fine.
see
That's
Wally,
fine.
too.
That's fine to me, especially the fact that he's supposed to be kind of younger. He's not older, maybe I would say he's probably in his early 20s in this.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I'm cool with that. It makes you wonder how Central. I really want to see how Central City's gonna look. How much are they gonna have it? Will they mention?
I like that. Whatchamacallit? Vibe is actually getting a lot more play because I think
Vibe is pretty cool. Vibe was in the actual Arrow episode, and he has I don't know what to really call his powers, but
it's vibration. It's vibration-based powers, and
the newer version of him definitely has powers now because back in the days he was just a breakdancing type character.
He was an '80s gimmick, pretty much.
He was just a gimmick character. Back in the '80s, he was just like the breakdancer kind of character. But they've kind of stepped him up pretty well in this with the new 52. So, but with that, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the dynamics and how he's going to be around Iris and everything like that.
I'm wondering how the Barry Felicity relationship is going to go now.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's
I don't think
she's
they're
going to
do
Flash. It's like, no, she's not.
Yeah, that's true.
I really don't think they're going to do anything because they kind of mentioned it a little bit like so who's remember there was like
it was like Iris is there all the time.
She's like Iris?
Iris is his it's complicated.
Kind of like his Mary Jane, his Lois Lane, pretty much.
His future wife.
Future wife. Not in the comics right now, but should have been. But Joe, as someone that's new to Flash, are you excited for the show, or are you just like, it's like a spin-off?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I know Flash, the character, because I know Wally from Justice League. And Flash is a pretty big DC character, so I'm familiar with Flash. Aren't one of his major bad guys a kangaroo?
No, Gorilla Grodd. You're thinking of Gorilla.
Gorilla.
But
Okay.
he's pretty cool. He's a cool
good.
guy.
He's not, don't knock him because he's an ape.
I wonder if they're gonna do Gorilla City.
They better do the Rogues.
Although I do know
the Rogues is a big part. I was wondering, like, we have Killer Frost set up with Kate. Is it Kate Panamaker, whatever her name is? From Disney Channel.
I don't think it's Kay. I think it's the other one, Danielle Panamaker.
Oh, Danielle Panamaker. Okay, we have Killer Frost set up. Where's Captain Cold at?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite of the Rogues, Captain Cold. Well, I can definitely believe that the main villain is going to be Reverse Flash.
The tornado.
Because they kind of mentioned that.
Reverse Flash is
Rupert Thawne. Yeah, he's a time traveler.
Yeah, that's what I read about Flash saying his mom died.
Yeah.
Yep, and then his father is framed for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
His father is framed for it, so that's going to be interesting. I want to see how that plays out for sure.
And
definitely.
so I'm looking forward to Flash just as much as I'm looking forward to a lot of the other comic shows that are coming out.
iZombie.
iZombie is going to be fun. I want to see how they do that.
Sequel to iCarly.
I mean, I hope not.
I'm looking forward to Constantine. I'm looking forward to.
Constantine looks amazing. I was so shocked at how great.
Yeah, I was surprised with Constantine.
I'm actually a Hellblazer fan who was extremely pissed off at the Keanu Reeves movie. So
I said that before. I was like, you got to segue that one because that was just some guy called Constantine. It wasn't the real one.
Yeah, no, like I tell people all the time, if you're not a Constantine fan and you don't care about Constantine, Constantine is a decent movie.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not that bad, but
Yeah.
I was very impressed at that. And with Gotham, I've said it before. I said it my thoughts on it. My biggest fear with that series is it's on Fox.
And also,
Yeah, because Fox is quick to cancel.
Trailer for Gotham.
I think my thing is Fox is just too quick to cancel.
Yeah, Fox definitely. Like I said, I made the joke. I was like, if you don't have a father named Homer or a dog named Brian for Fox, you're nothing. You're almost nothing. And like they're not gonna give you too many
Or
chances.
American Idol, but even that's like.
Or a dog named Vinny for 2 episodes.
Okay, Vinny.
So it's to the point like with that, I will see where it goes. But I do like the dynamics because I'm a big Gotham Central fan. I like that.
Gotham Central was a good series.
I haven't read Gotham Central. Obviously, I know about it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's basically just focused on Jim Gordon, the police department.
And I'm hearing that what's the name is supposed to also be a big role in the character too, not just Jim and Bullock, but Renee Montoya. So
Renee Montoya is going to be. Yep.
Good question.
So is Betty Kane.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh yeah, they gonna bring them in. But the only thing I did not like about the Gotham was the tagline before.
Yeah, before blah blah blah.
I hate
There
everything
was
about
Gotham.
this.
I'm like, wait a minute. Gotham was always there, but even
before any of these people showed up.
What were you
It's
saying, Joe?
just selling the names. Like, he turns out to be Riddler. And
Yeah.
he turns out to be Penguin. Like,
She turns out to be Selena Kyle. Well, that's kind of obvious because she has the leather and the goggles. And
And
the
I
wig.
don't like the whole Selena Kyle thing. It's like she's young and I mean, at least they have the
so
orphan thing
gimmicky.
right, but.
Well, actually, the Selena Kyle thing I can buy because her and Batman are like always been with a few years with within each other.
Really? I always thought Selena was a lot younger than Bruce. Is like, I always thought that. Like,
I don't know. She seems like she's like maybe a couple years
that's the thing, is
younger.
like not every comic character has a real official birth date, so you got it.
Yeah, that's
There's
what
only a
I'm
few
saying.
I know off the top of my head.
Because
Like, yes, October 10th is Selena Kyle's birthday.
October
Because I go off of like the year one thing, how she was already like working the streets, and Bruce was around the same age, so I figured that they'd be around the same age. I don't like the fact that she's already in Catwoman's gear though. That pissed me off.
I hate everything about the show.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the one, like, honestly, I wasn't looking forward to Constantine, but the one that I'm, like, Constantine actually really surprised me with the trailer, and Gotham just, like, I don't know.
The fact that he had
So
the
bad.
fact that Constantine has the magic taxi sold me because the magic taxi is a big part of Constantine.
The other thing, my last thoughts on, especially with the Constantine, is definitely it's on Fridays, and Fridays has always been like a bad.
Yeah,
But not with this
No, but I feel like with the time slot though, they had Grimm and Constantine.
Yeah, that's why I'm liking it, because you got Grimm, which I love. I love Grimm, and you got that show. If Grimm's gonna be first, and then that's gonna take off.
I feel like Grimm and Constantine are going to cross over at some point.
When's
never
Gotham
know.
on? Did they say?
Gotham they haven't released in
Monday. No, Gotham is on Mondays at 8.
Oh, that's an okay
Oh, we're talking
time
about
slot.
Constantine, right?
Well, Constantine is on
Constantine's Friday.
which is a great slot for
What
Constantine.
Yeah.
On, 10?
ABC. Yeah, ABC.
It's
No,
at
NBC.
10?
I think it's at 10 or 9.
Ooh, it's going head to head with Hannibal.
Oh, well, Hannibal, isn't that a January show?
Yeah, because
It's going
NBC
on now, so. Yeah.
it's going to be in the fall, so it's definitely going to be in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for the the crossover, and maybe we get some DC characters from the Magic universe. His famed love interest from the New 52. Yes, Lady Z. You know.
Zatanna in there. You want to see? I hopefully maybe we'll get Zatanna and Madame Xanadu, people like that.
Madame Xanadu. Jason Blood is a big one for me. I want to see if they can do Etrigan.
If they can pull up the demon effect of
Yeah, because they do a lot of demon stuff. Of course,
demon, I can see that. And the one thing if they do Etrigan, he's got to rhyme. Everything's got to rhyme when he talks, because that's one of his biggest essential.
That's his curse. That's his curse.
Everything rhymes.
Gone is the form of man, arise the demon Etrigan. That's all I want to hear. And
yeah, I mean, I think Constantine with those heroes and villains coming into, hopefully will come into the story, which I think they will. I think NBC has a better handle than.
I feel like it's good timing too, because Supernatural's ending now.
Is it?
Yeah, but
It's not ending, is it?
It's got a spin-off coming after. Yeah.
No, I don't think it picked up.
It's in its final season, so yeah.
It is so bad that it didn't get picked up.
Supernatural ends this. Yeah, this is the last season.
I did not know that. I didn't know it was ending. I don't watch the show, but I'm just surprised it was ending.
It's gotten really downhill, to tell you the truth. But
yeah, let's go into questions. I posted most of them on the side, so you guys could pick which ones you are looking at, which ones you seem good to you. Like, I don't care.
Well, not a question.
I see one with Zatanna in there that I like. So.
Real quick, Robert Fiel said Slade brings a believable scary, and that's dead on. That's what I was looking for to say before. I was looking for the right word.
Definitely
completely true. Believable scary. Yeah, so that's completely right, Robert.
Great line from Robert.
Would you want to see Zatanna at some point?
I don't know who that is.
And if
she's just like this magician. Well, she has magic powers.
She's basically, imagine Black Canary, but in a tuxedo and
with a magician outfit.
Pass.
You ever seen like classic movies where you have these women that look like they selling cigars, cigarettes, and they got like the top hats and things like that? That's how she looks.
I'll get a picture of her.
Oh God, no, I don't want this at all.
Hold on, wait. Maybe if you see her, you'll actually, because they actually did a decent job of doing her in small.
And her story was like, yeah, she's a good character. Like, I won't lie, she's a really.
Zatanna is great, especially if you look into her and you do.
This is Zatanna. This is her animated. This is from Batman the Animated Series.
Wow. Okay. No, I look like.
Yeah.
Looks like I'd like to see that.
On the CW, they probably will do it. I don't know why that just happened. Okay.
But then someone else said something about Lady Shaving. Who's that?
Lady Shiva.
Yeah, Lady Shiva.
Lady Shiva. Yeah, we mentioned about her with Lady Shiva.
Big old spelling error then.
Yeah, she's Shiva. She is the deadliest assassin.
That would have been a weird villain. Lady Shaving.
Lady Shaving?
Well, at least that would make Oliver get rid of his hobo beard if he still had the hobo beard and the goatee.
Someone asked that, I think, as a question. Is like, do you think Oliver get the goatee? Because that's like his famous thing, is that he has the goatee.
I hate the goatee.
Honestly, that won't work.
I saw somebody actually put where we see Ollie become mayor, because he became mayor.
Yeah. Made a kind of a reference in the end of the episode. Like, what are you gonna do? Like,
you need a job. You know.
He becomes mayor in the comic books too. And also, let me just say, I know a lot of people are getting angry about like everyone knowing his secret identity. With Oliver Queen, it works because in the comics, everyone knows his identity.
Oliver Queen is the Tony Stark. Oliver Queen is the Tony Stark of the DC universe, essentially.
Oh.
Everyone knows his identity. He's public about it, and even his enemies know it.
I'm sure that's gonna happen by like season 4. That everyone's gonna know that Oliver Queen, or they might go Daredevil and say like, oh yeah, I'm not actually Green Arrow, but like everyone knows he's Green Arrow. He's gonna keep denying it.
I hope they don't go the Daredevil route, because I think him as a public hero and him standing up for heroes like with policies and stuff was cool too.
What was his line? He stood up for the average Joe.
For the average Joe. For the
Robin Hood.
Yeah, he was the Robin Hood.
I want to say hey to Jay. He's in the comments. But yeah, did Joe leave?
No.
There he is.
No, he just came back. But yeah, I think Ollie becoming mayor would be a good plot point. That would
Yeah.
be interesting. I think it would be a cool way for him to save the city as Oliver Queen and just kind of flesh out Oliver Queen as a character more, even though we got to see a lot of Ollie.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be great to see Oliver as mayor, and honestly, if he is mayor, I think his identity would
Oh
be
man,
revealed.
Felicity taking another secretary job as the mayor's secretary.
I would love to see that. But Joe, as a person that didn't know about the Oliver identity thing, what do you think of that happening in the show? Do you think it's realistic for the show?
No, I don't think they're gonna go that route.
I feel like that's one thing. The writers want everyone to know he's the Arrow.
They've done it in Smallville too. Even in Smallville, he publicly announced in Smallville that he was doing Arrow, and that's why I'm thinking it's done by the CW also. So I'm thinking they're gonna go the same route.
Would it be
What do you, Chris, what do you think?
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it. I just think a lot of TV fans will get mad. And they're like, what are they doing? You know, he's a superhero. His identity shouldn't be revealed.
Hey, at least
it's
it's not like Andrew Garfield in the first Amazing Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield took off his mask so many times in that, and he did so many.
Spider-Man's a whole nother podcast.
He did so many blatant acts to reveal
I wouldn't mind if his identity was publicized. I wouldn't mind it at all. You know, it's just how it's the thing that I've always said is like a lot of stories have been done over. It's just the execution, how you pull it off, and if you pull it off well, then it could work.
Yeah.
Despite what people may think about it, you know, you pull it off well, then it's good. But if you don't, it's just like, well, we're just gonna do it just to give it some dynamic. Then yeah, it's gonna be you're gonna give it a bore. So
I still have a question about the Lazarus Pit. How do you guys think the Lazarus Pit is going to be incorporated if they do the League? And if you think it's going to be some kind of magic, or you think they're going to do science it? Or
I think it should be magic. I don't, because they're trying to ground it, but I feel like if it's scientific, it'd be kind of weird. If the Lazarus Pit is just like this pit that revives everybody, like Ra's al Ghul, like he was. I think it was in the Dark Knight movies.
Batman villains, yeah.
I would actually like it to be actually the mystical fountain of youth.
Yeah, that would be cool.
He found the fountain of youth, and that's it. So
I don't think they're gonna do it. I think it'll be like Malcolm. When he died, he was like, "Oh, I've learned ways, not to die." I think it'll just be that. I think it'll just be like something along those lines. Because look at like Batman Begins
technique or something.
Yeah, Batman Begins didn't really use a Lazarus Pit type thing, and Ra's al Ghul still came off very, intimidating, like a good character. So I don't think they really need the Lazarus Pit. I don't think they're gonna do it.
I think it could work, but if they didn't do it, I'd be fine with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a cool twist because I feel like, again, with this whole season finale, I don't think there were a lot of twists that I wanted. So it could have been like a cool
Diggle Daddy.
Although with the Lazarus Pit, there's always that little thing that people are going to mention. They're going to bring Tommy back with the Lazarus Pit.
No, I don't need Tommy. He's in a meeting right now. So.
Not now. It's too late to bring him back.
Yeah, nobody wants.
He wasn't even like a character that people cared about either. Like if he was a Felicity, I'd be like, okay, but nobody cared about him.
Tommy was more of a catalyst than a character.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people thought he was gonna be like the main villain, which would have been like whatever, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's why.
You guys see any more last questions? Because I think we're gonna try to wrap it up soon.
I want to answer this one because it's from a friend I actually know, Omnitron. He says, "Am I the only one who wished they'd go for an Hour Man show? Miracle is just a bastardization of the Miracle." Yeah, it actually is.
Pretty much.
I am a fan of Hour Man. I do like the character.
I honestly know nothing about Hour Man because I really didn't read JSA that much. So
I don't know.
The character that has, if you look him up, Kat, he has a good. He's married to Jesse Quick.
Oh yes, Hour Man. Okay, no, they're the same people.
He has like the little hourglass that
on his chest.
Very charming. Yeah, I read those issues. So I read a lot of Jesse Quick stuff. Okay, which I would love to see Jesse Quick in the Flash. Just saying.
I want to see any kind of JSA.
Any kind of JSA member I want to see because I'm a huge JSA fan. So anybody from the
like I said, Ted Grant, bring Ted Grant into Arrow, Jay Garrick into the Flash, Jesse Quick into the Flash. You know,
Mhm.
like
There you go.
I would
That's
love to see. I would love to see a live action Stargirl. Like seriously, come on. That,
Well, I didn't really like her in Smallville that much. Like, I love Stargirl, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if the CW could do her character.
I don't know. I feel like if Stargirl was done right, Stargirl would be a great character.
I thought the costume was great. I thought her costume was great.
Yeah,
She
the
looked-
costume. Yeah, the costume
and
was
the
on point.
Dr. Fate costume looked great too. And maybe that's somebody that could be brought into Constantine. Dr.
I would. I want to see him.
I heard
I
about
wanna see him
that.
in
That they
Constantine.
might, like, I heard in the promo, there's like something with Dr. Fate in it. So hopefully they go use some of the comic book stuff in that show, or DC more stuff, or maybe they'll go the Hellblazer route. But actually, I saw a question about Thea. Do you think she'll become Cheshire? Now, Cheshire is for Joe. She's
cat,
the villain.
right? Alice in Wonderland?
Yes,
Well,
it is
she,
kind of
she
like
takes
Alice.
it from that theme. She takes it from that theme because she
Yeah.
likes to disappear.
She's
Oh, okay.
She's the one who has the baby with Roy, but she's
Yeah.
a villain. So yeah, I don't think she's gonna be. I think we'll see Cheshire in the show.
I want Jade to be a separate character. I think Jade, especially if you know what Cirque said earlier, if they bring in like a Young Justice-esque version of Sportsmaster.
I would like that a lot better than regular Cheshire and Sportsmaster.
I saw one question, and it's from a friend. I thought it was a good question because it seems like we do have people watching. I know I saw a few comments. People who don't watch Arrow who just love to see our lovely faces and hear what we have to say. So for anyone not watching Arrow, this is directed towards you. Is this series easy to pick up and watch for a Marvel fan? I think this series is easy to pick up for anyone at all. I have friends that don't like superheroes that like this show because it's just presented in a different way.
It's just a very well-crafted show. I feel like anybody could really pick it up.
I will definitely agree with that. You know, as the thing is, like, I am from both worlds. I like Marvel and I like DC. So
Me too.
Marvel.
Yeah.
I never.
I don't like siding with one. Yeah.
You guys probably saw my video about Marvel or DC. Why do we have to choose? So.
Yeah.
But
I don't agree with choosing at all.
It is an easy show to pick up. You can get into the characters and you can like it. It's not very hard to find out, okay, who's your favorite, who's not your favorite.
I feel like getting the knowledge of the comics makes it more fun, but it's still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's still pretty fun just being a non-comic fan. I mean, look at Joe. He's interacted with us and still had fun, even though he had, like he said, has never touched a comic. But I still think
touched it.
Next time you at least have to touch the comic. You might not have to read it, but
I'm telling you, it's fun to do, especially if you like, because if you're a fan of the comics, it's a lot of fun to just pick up these references. Like, oh my God, they're talking about Mia Dearden. Oh my God, they're talking about Connor Hawk.
And I think that's the interesting thing, too. Like, again, as a comic book fan, you're going to get stuff out of it because you know about Mia Dearden or you might know about Connor Hawk. But then, again, as a non-comic book fan, you're getting a lot of stuff out of it because you're learning more about the comic book universe because they really are using so many comic book references. And you know who Deathstroke is. You know who Isabella Rasputin is. Like, these are characters that I feel that mainstream audiences don't know about and now is becoming mainstream, especially Deathstroke. I think that's really awesome to see.
Yeah.
I love that Black Canary is getting some shine because she is like
Black Canary too.
She's my number 3 top female character.
She's a badass character. I think she's more badass in the comics because she could kick Green Arrow's ass like in the comics all the time.
Green Arrow. She's kicked Batman's ass too. People forget that.
She's a little bit more badass.
The only thing I want to see her at least one time. I know they wouldn't do it, but I want to see that Canary cry again, because
Oh yeah, Joe probably doesn't know about that. Black Canary is a magic.
She has powers. She has a canary cry. She can
at least
scream
around.
I know that. I'm familiar with that, and I know in the show they did that.
What I was thinking was actually going to happen with the Sarah thing. I know there's going to be forced, but if it did happen, but with Laurel, after Quentin got killed, I was thinking she was going to scream.
That would be kind of cool, but I feel like they would have done that.
Yeah. And it just breaks everything. I
thought that would have been great. I mean, I know that's a little forced, but that would have been a great way to end that with just like Canary cry.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the only thing that could really redeem Laurel to become Black Canary, and I've been saying this, is to give her that metahuman power of the Canary cry. It's the only
That's
thing
why
I
we
think.
were saying like,
It still follows the tradition too, because the second Black Canary is the one that gets the Canary cry. The first one didn't.
yeah, Mom never had it. Mom didn't had it. It was, yeah. So I remember how we were talking last time. You know, the whole Big Bang theory. Like, yeah, they,
Oh yeah, bring
that's how
the
she
Bang
did.
Babies to
Yeah,
Glade.
Bang
I would
Baby.
love to see that. Oh, Joe, did you ever see the Static Shock TV show?
No.
No?
Okay, well, yeah, so, but yeah, Bang Babies would be awesome to see, and that's a
Bang
great show,
Babies would
Static
be
Shock.
great.
Trying to see if there's any other questions, but yeah, I can't see any on like newer ones. Is Cirque on? I don't think so, but I think he's like, yeah, there we go. So once as we wrap up the show, is there any other questions you see on the side that you guys want to mention?
I think Nate Banks has one that I think this is good. He says, "Do you think we'll ever get any Superman references in the show? Like some references of some kind of
I
bullet?"
think
No.
Superman's too huge. Superman's too big. That's why I don't think Batman should ever be like fully referenced. You know, they have the little shadows and everything.
I don't think Superman's really needed to be added into the show. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be kind of cool to actually hear like, yo, you hear about this flying man in Metropolis, but
Or you know,
haven't even
I wouldn't mind like a Clark Kent reference. Like, hey, look,
Yeah,
it's a-
Smallville reference would be better than like a Man of Steel reference.
It's like a like a Daily Planet news, like somebody picks up an issue of the Daily Planet or something, and then like
Yeah.
an article written by Clark Kent.
Because you don't want to confuse people that Arrow has to do with Man of Steel and, Batman vs. Superman. I think that's why they can't bring Batman and Superman. And also with Gotham coming, you can't. I think it'd be too confusing. I don't want to see them personally.
That's why I don't want the Nightwing thing to happen. As much as I like
The
Nightwing,
Nightwing I could see happening, but not Batman.
I don't know because Nightwing is one of my favorite characters. Dick Grayson is my favorite Robin, but you don't need Nightwing in here. He's not.
as much as I don't want it, but I would actually kind of be interesting because to see it and to see why he's there is like
They've been to Bloodhaven a lot. They've been to Bloodhaven a
Harley.
lot.
He's like, I was, me and another one of somebody else. They won't mention him, but you have Dr. Harley Quinzel, and we want to see it.
And then there's also Dick had the relationship with Helena for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Maybe another ex.
They did mention. They already mentioned the city. Nightwing used to patrol Bloodhaven. They mentioned that.
Yeah, they mentioned it a lot of times actually.
Like, yeah. Okay, so you could see, maybe I wouldn't mind seeing Nightwing as just who they would get to play him. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a little confusing of who would actually play him, and people are saying Stephen McQueen from Vampire Diaries, and I wouldn't really want to see that because I don't really like any of Vampire Diaries.
Some people are also saying they mentioned Coast City. They might bring in Hal.
Oh yeah, I actually want to mention that. That was a question, but first I want to ask Cirque and Joe what they thought about the Batman Superman thing. So I'll ask Cirque since he wasn't on the show. What do you think about Batman Superman? Would you want to see him on the show or referenced on the show?
I don't think you're going to get it referenced on the show, especially now that the movies and stuff are coming out. Are you talking about for Arrow?
Yeah, for Arrow.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that because I think it's going to confuse people. Because once you start saying, "Oh, this is Clark Kent," "Oh, this is Bruce Wayne," and then you have the movies come in, then people feel like, "Oh, well, this is a part of the whole universe," because they're going to have that Marvel mentality to where, "Oh, this is part of the universe," just like the TV show is a part of the Avengers universe. So, and once the Gotham series starts to come in, I think you're going to see less and less Batman characters on the Arrow show. I think once the Gotham series starts to get
That's what I'm hoping for.
I really think you're going to stop seeing a lot of these Batman characters during the Arrow show. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see what the writers and the directors and everybody on Arrow are going to do once Gotham gets on. So.
Yeah, I think season 3 is going to be a really interesting one with that. Also, I want to mention there was actually a question here just relating to the same thing. Someone mentions like Stephen Amell wants Green Arrow to be in Justice League. That is the farthest thing. I follow him on Facebook. I love his Facebook page. He says he does not want Green Arrow to be in it. He has not talked to Warner Brothers about it, and he keeps, saying that. So that's like one of the things he's been trying to say, like every video he does. So
Yeah,
not in Justice League.
I wouldn't want him to be in Justice League because that kind of
like,
that
don't
undermines
mix
Arrow.
worlds.
That undermines Arrow a lot if you just say it's part of.
He's a TV actor. He's not a movie actor. Stephen Amell is a TV actor.
And besides, Stephen Amell probably doesn't want to be associated with the mess that is Justice League.
Exactly. That's the only thing I could say, because I think it'd be good on their behalf to do it, because it's very polarizing right now, people's opinions on whether they want to see it or not. I think for them, incorporating this Green Arrow into it would be good for them, because Arrow has a pretty big fan base. So I think it'd be good on their behalf. But as he said, the movie seems like a train wreck thus far.
Yeah, I think Stephen Amell's trying to stay far away from it, and he loves the show right now. He'd rather deal with his show.
Yeah.
I mean, the coolest thing about it was the Batsuit and Batmobile reveal. That's the only positive that's come out of this whole thing.
I really like that picture, though.
That's the only positive that's come out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still going to preach my hashtag Rock for Robin. Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Robin. That's what I want.
That'd be crazy.
No, no. My hashtag is Rock for Black Adam. That's what I want.
Yeah, I was going to say Rock as Black Adam.
That's who he is. That's who The Rock is. That's who he should play.
Yeah, it's most likely who he's going to be. But
So I think one question was kind of interesting. One was, do you want to see Green Lantern in this? Because in the comic books, Green Lantern and Green Arrow best friends. So
I would like to see a young Air Force cadet.
I could see a young Hal. I could see that.
Yeah,
That was
young Hal,
character
yeah.
in the Arrow universe.
imagine how bad the visual effects would be.
That's the problem, though.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
visual effects really
Just
aren't.
imagine.
Well, we don't.
Close your eyes and picture it.
He doesn't need to be Green Lantern. He just needs to be a young cadet. Like I could just see that. Like okay, yeah, that's the way I would go. I wouldn't.
Young Air Force cadet Hal Jordan, because
Yeah,
I mean,
wouldn't want him.
I know
To
it's John Stewart. That's because I watched the Justice League TV show.
I honestly think Diggle, David Ramsey could play John Stewart. That would
I agree, but now it's like that ship.
The Rock could play John Stewart for all.
he's already confirmed that he's not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that.
I don't know. I don't want to see too much for Arrow. I want it to be more grounded, and I'd rather see like more of the spectacle power type in the Flash series. But I do understand that they're both in the same universe, so it really doesn't matter. But I feel like it's more appropriate if you have like a Green Lantern or somebody of that type of nature in the Flash series. I think you should try to keep it as grounded as you can for Arrow.
I can agree with that, which is why we were saying.
That's why I think we all agree. Kind of keep more of the more level, ground level characters on Arrow.
Just have like a young hotshot, Air Force cadet, who's want to be
Just
like a top
references
gun.
like Cord or whatever. Like I agree. Just reference them for now.
Like more of those like non-powered characters on Arrow. That's the way I look at it. Keep it like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially for Arrow. But again, I would like to see the metahuman for Laurel. That's one thing I think.
That's the only thing that's gonna save her in like comic fan eyes if she gets a canary cry.
Like her canary cry. Maybe it was dormant for a long time, and then finally it comes out.
Anything to do, make her have a canary cry.
Like I said, I wish they had done that with Quentin's death. Like if they had done that with Quentin's scene where
that would have
like,
been a badass ending.
It's just like help, and then it gets real shrill, help, and then shh.
And then like that would have been a perfect cliffhanger. Honestly, it'd probably be better than the freaking Argus cliffhanger we got.
All of the Hong Kong thing, though.
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I like the cliffhanger. I'm just saying it could have been like the canary cry.
The canary cry would have been a much better cliffhanger, unless in the Hong Kong thing we saw Lady Shiva.
Yeah, exactly. What were you gonna say, sir?
Yeah, did y'all already talk about the cliffhanger of the?
Yes. So you can tell your thoughts on it.
Oh, okay. I know y'all trying to wrap up and stuff, but yeah, I didn't really like that cliffhanger for some reason. I felt like they should have just ended. For me, they should have ended it right with Oliver going out of the.
Or Thea,
Yeah.
honestly, was a bigger cliffhanger.
Yeah, if they would have just left like Oliver going out the bunker with Slade like in the prison, I would
I
have been
agree
fine.
completely.
But the whole like Amanda Waller thing, I know they have to explain like how Oliver met Amanda Waller, but then you go to the fact that okay, he found some way off the island. He's like in Japan now.
Hong
But
Kong.
then
He's in Hong Kong.
how did he gets back on the island anyway?
Yeah, they just gonna dump him on when they're
So
done.
that tells me he must have messed up so bad that they sent him back to the island, and that's just stupid. For me, I think it's stupid.
I laughed.
Like,
No. He actually ended up on a Chinese trading ship when he ended up, coming back to the island. That's how he came back. He was on a Chinese freighter, so that means he was in China, before he got went to Lian.
But it also they kind of started to explain, like, remember in the first where they were like, you speak Russian now, and
Yeah.
trying to figure where he learned Russian from. I guess we're going to see him again, his friend again. So
And he already had a connection with China White too, so we might find out.
China White, I think, sucks in this show, but
That's such a shame because Kelly Hughes? Yeah, Kelly Hughes. She was great. She's a great actress. Why? She's Cheshire, man. She's Cheshire from Young Justice.
I know. Yeah, she's a great actress. It's just the script did not work for her. But to wrap up, I do want to ask one last question to everybody. What are your expectations for season 3? I'm going to go down the line. Start out with Chris Cirque. What did you think of? What do you expect for season 3?
So for me, I just expect them to keep up the momentum. I mean, I think they had issues in season 1. They fixed most of those issues in season 2. A lot more great story development, and that's all I really want to see. I don't need to see villains of the week in season 3. Just give me a good story, just like they did with the Slade and / Deathstroke storyline, and then I'm good. Just give me a good story.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to say mine is I want to see the Thea thing. I think she could be a cool main villain. But, of course, I think League of Assassins is going to play a big part. Even if we see the League, I think that would be a really cool thing to see. Because we haven't seen where the League is, and I think that's something that we should see in Season 3. Especially if they're going to go that route with Thea, which I really love that idea. I didn't think about it, but I love that idea. All right, Jeremy, what do you think? What do you want to see in Season 3?
Okay, what I want to see in Season 3 is basically kind of like a big bad for each season. Keep that trend going, keep that momentum. Like they have one central villain, but they have like the smaller.
Do the Avatar route then.
Yeah, exactly.
Avatar.
Do the Avatar route. One central villain, but they have like the smaller. They have the small villain serving that larger villain's goal.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want to see Lady Shiva in those flashbacks. Maybe.
Yeah.
And Richard Dragon, the Canary Cry, and I want to see maybe because they killed off Shadow so quickly, maybe Lady Shiva will take Shadow's spot, and Shadow actually, because in the comic Shadow had a son with Ollie. Maybe Ollie has 2 illegitimate kids.
That'd be a lot of children, but
Yeah, that'd be a lot of children.
It's just a little plot thread, but the main thing is improve Laurel, Canary Cry.
Yes.
That's all I want.
I agree. All right, Chris, member and kid.
Basically, you just don't keep the flow going as it was. Don't go too hard. Don't try to overdo it, as always, because that's how sometimes, especially with seasons 3, they try to always top themselves. You just have a steady pace with the show. I definitely agree with Jay. Definitely, there has to be and Shirk and all of them have a central villain. Don't have too many villains, like villains of the week, as we've been saying.
Yeah.
And for me, I definitely would want to see some more development with Laurel, because God knows they need some more with that character. Before I just really want to say kill the character off. For me, also more character development for Diggle. definitely, because
Yeah.
I like Diggle, and I don't want to see him die, but I want to see some more growth with that character. And I
No
don't,
sexual episodes, because those suck. Give him
yeah, no
growth in other
sexual
ways.
episode. And I don't want him to be coming off like the gruff soldier, like
You know,
when I was.
something interesting. Something interesting though.
I don't need him
Interesting,
always
though.
going into detail about I was when I had to
Yeah.
search for this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, what is
As,
that?
mu- as much as like I hate the I don't want to see the fatherhood thing really show up with Oliver. I think it could really improve Diggle. Like now that I'm thinking about it, fatherhood could really improve Diggle to show him that he is more than a soldier. He needs to be more
Yeah,
than a soldier.
that's what I'm saying. I want more from Diggle in terms of like showcasing. Yeah, he's more than just a soldier. He's actually can stand side by side with Ollie when Ollie needs him. And I just don't need that old gruff soldier that like well I know what you're going through. Back then I had to do it, and I'm like, no, you don't know what you're going through because you didn't go through that or something like that. So those are mainly the things, and of course Thea, see where she's gonna go through. Like maybe it'd be cool to see like she's going through some training and stuff like that. I'm like,
Especially if it's with the league, like we've been saying too.
like you
Have
seen
Sarah run into her.
Yeah,
I want to see her defeat Sarah. Actually, I would love to see her defeat Sarah.
I'd also like to learn more about Felicity's past. I was just thinking about that. I would definitely want to see more of that because we know like she's the daughter of somebody. We don't know who, but she's definitely somebody.
I'm gonna throw something out. Maybe she's Proxy. What if she's Proxy?
So she's the daughter of what's his name?
Calculator. Yeah, I know he's a stupid.
I know, but he's kind of a lame villain. So he did say Proxy in this episode. So
I know he's a stupid villain, but hear me out though. Proxy is one of the best hackers in DC universe. She was groomed to be the next Oracle.
Yeah, she was a cool. Don't get me wrong. She's an awesome character. I love Brian Q. Miller's background.
But I think that could be really cool. Maybe that she's the daughter of the calculator.
She's gonna be in a wheelchair, so.
Oh man, I wonder how if they're gonna do that though. I don't want them to do that, but it could be interesting.
There's so many signs that Felicity's gonna end up in a wheelchair. I mean, think about it. She's
the bullet
like
thing
Laurel.
too, and the bullet thing too. Like I have my own bullet wound.
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't even think about that, but Felicity honestly could end up in a wheelchair in this series.
I hope she gets some action before she gets away.
Hopefully she actually kicks some ass before that, but.
That would be kind of cool too. Ollie teaches her a little bit of self-defense. I'd take that. Like,
Well, Sarah did that, which was cool.
So you don't be
that.
under stress all the time. Like, here, let me show you how to do this and things like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'd take
And my last thing, because I know we're trying to end. My last thing, make sure Roy has a costume by the end of season 3.
Well, he's starting to.
Yeah, it started.
Yeah.
But definitely
Put that kid in
costume.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. All right, so Joe, what are you expecting for season 3?
Okay, real quick, course correction for Diggle. Anything, just course correction. I actually we got this season 1, not really season 2, mini kind of arcs. Instead of villains of the week, with Huntress we had like a 4-episode arc. I like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
I want more of that. With an overall villain, like you guys were saying, an overall villain with Merlin Slade. I think next could be Ra's al Ghul.
I hope so.
Gusts from Breaking Bad. Dream Ra's al Ghul right there. So that's really it. That's the 3 things I really want to see because I know Diggle's probably gonna be around, at least momentarily for a while. So course correction definitely, but that's it.
Yeah, and they just introduced Diggle into the comic book, so I don't think he's going anywhere right now. People still like him. I just think I agree. He just needs
the actor is so likable. I think that's why he makes the character.
Oh yeah, if it was a different actor, and
he would have been killed off if it was a different actor. He would have been killed off right away.
Yeah, he would have been the Tommy probably. I mean, not saying that Colin Donald, I think his name is Donald Collins, something like that. I'm not saying he's a bad actor because he wasn't. It's just Tommy wasn't a great. He was more of a catalyst character, like you guys are saying. But again, with Dig, if it was a different actor, it would have been because he doesn't get many lines, and I think David Ramsey does a great job with Dig. But yeah, let's just go down the panel one more time just to plug everyone's channels and yeah, so we'll start with Joe this time. Plug in your channel.
Start with me.
Yeah. So because we
Okay.
started with Cirque before, so.
Sure. Agree to Disagree is the name, and we do movies, TV, sports, video game. You name it, we do it. That's basically the thing. So if you're into that, if you like variety, and you'll come to the right place, and we can see if we can agree to disagree.
There you go. So Chris, Mount Vernon Kid, plug in your channel or anything going on.
Just a guy, geek, that just here to entertain you guys. Mount Vernon Kid, as always. So come to my place, you enter my worlds, you'll never leave. That's the way I look at it. There you go.
There you go. All right, Jeremy, your channel.
All right. Mr. J's Comic Reviews, where I review movies, TV, comics, anything nerdy, superhero related, just any in general geek related. Like I said, always say at the end of my videos, once a comic book geek, always comic book geek, and definitely check out my channel. I do a lot of work with Cat, so you'll see me definitely with Cat for sure. But it's been a lot of fun here. My review will go up. I'll upload it right after we get done with this, so definitely check that out. Although my thoughts in this are different from in the review, because in the review I was kind of caught up in the hype.
Yeah,
So
I think
keep that
a
in
lot of
mind.
us either were caught up in hype, so that's why I definitely watch this live. Obviously, you are watching this live show, but this live show really got our thoughts out, and it's like, all right, yeah, let's think about the episode a little bit more. But yeah, we still had very valid opinions in our reviews too, and that's really our initial reaction. All right, so Chris, Cirque, what?
Find me on places, Search Show 24/7, YouTube, Twitter, and what else? Tumblr. Yeah. So find me on Search Show 24/7, and trying to get some new reviews up. Hopefully Godzilla tomorrow for me will be up.
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, that's gonna
I'm
be.
Yeah.
not watching Godzilla this week, but I hope to watch next.
Oh, it's gonna be up tomorrow for me. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
I'll definitely watch everyone's reviews on it, because I hear it's...
Yep, I'm trying to see that. I'm trying to see that tomorrow or at least Saturday.
Back. The king is back. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, just the Search Show 24/7. Help me get to 3,000 subscribers, please. And yeah.
Subscribe. Definitely subscribe to all of us. I don't know if you're here because of everyone else on the panel, so I'll just introduce my channel. I do a lot of TV reviews. I do comic book reviews, movie reviews, less movie reviews, but definitely a lot of TV and comics on the channel. Also have another channel, Comic Frontline, and that's a group of comic book reviewers where we just review all comics, TV stuff. There too, we have a variety of stuff. But yeah, be sure to check out both channels, and hope you guys enjoyed this Arrow live show. We wanted to do something special because we all love Arrow here, and I had a lot of fun, you know, just chilling and talking about Arrow. Love the show. I I think we could have talked about Arrow even more, but it's like, it's 1 o'clock, so I was like, all right, maybe we could
Maybe
end
we
the
should
show.
end. Yeah, that's how these hangouts always work, though.
And I think what we all can go on and say is, like, if you guys, to all you out there that watch our stuff or are interested in maybe, hey, I want to do a joint project with one of these guys. Yeah, I'm not a hard man to find, guys.
Yeah,
You know,
seriously, contact any of us, and we'll more than likely do it if we have the time. It's all
at the
about
time,
scheduling.
definitely, yeah. I'm not a hard man to find. If you follow me, like Kirk said, yeah, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Tumblr, I'm on Facebook.
Yeah,
Just
all
follow me,
of
find
us.
me.
We have
If you
Facebook
just
pages.
want to ask me
YouTube,
random
everything.
questions, go ahead. I'm all for random questions. Nothing stupid, because I can be stupid too. So yeah,
And you know, definitely, anybody who's just an Arrow fan of the TV show, if you guys want to hear any opinions from, you know, Kat, Mount Vernon Kid, or myself, us as comic
Or
fans,
even Cirque Show.
or even Sir, you know, we just need, if you want any recommendations for Green Arrow stuff, or like Kat did a 101 video, if you want any kind of.
I did a 101
Yeah.
video. I think I did one for Green Arrow too.
Yeah, so if you
I'm
want to
very
do a jumping on point,
source material, so
yeah,
I think
if you want any
that's-
jumping on points, just let us know. And the comics are fun to get into, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
not as intimidating as like Big Bang Theory makes it seem.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I love the most about doing videos here on YouTube is like interacting with people. I'm more about input. I love input, guys. So if you guys got questions, that's me. I'm like, yeah, okay, ask me a question. Don't be afraid to ask me, because I think
We
people,
will answer these once the thing goes off live too. So we will be in the comments later.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest conception of geeks is that we get too crazy and you
We
piss
do
me off.
sometimes. I mean, we do get
I'm
crazy.
not gonna say I don't do that, but then there's sometimes like don't let that misconception fool you, because I could be the nicest guy you ever met, or yeah, I could be the worstest guy you ever met if you piss me off. But that I'm 50% of the time, or no, I should say 90% of the time, I'm the nicest guy. That's my other personality.
The other 10% is Hurricane though. The other 10%
Yeah,
is
Hurricane
Hurricane.
is the guy you stay away from him.
And I think as new readers, though, if you've never touched a comic book, you could always ask us for recommendations, and we love that. I know
year
some
ones are
ones,
great.
like, you
The
can't
year
get
ones
into the
are
comic
always
book world,
great.
but you definitely can.
Definitely for Arrow in general, since this is an Arrow show, Green Arrow year 1, definitely pick that up.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think definitely that's the one thing I will also agree with Kat. Like, yeah, when people are like, hey, I want to get into this character, so where should I start reading? I love that. I love that, because
That's
then
great. I love that too.
It's like, okay, you want to get into it, that's cool. But
I agree. So that's the end of the show. Please, if you're watching this off live, we still love your comments. We'll answer. And we'll do this sometime again. Hopefully, maybe we'll do it on a different topic. If we all agree on a topic that we could all talk about. And we'll definitely try to do this again.
Yeah, we'll be back for season 3, guys.
Yes, definitely. We'll be back for season 3. Either the premiere, maybe we'll do something special. So, all right. See you guys. Bye. If you guys all want to wave.
See y'all later.
right.
Thanks for supporting us.